Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
With a very strong yay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that this week.
Feels good, the lungs.
We deserve it. That's the thing. We deserve a yay this week, too, because we have a wild story of a pretty famous person. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've had a couple of this is the messed up part. Last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of kind of unknowns,
right,
basically, that have the craziest stories of anybody ever. If we do an unknown, it's for a reason. Like, don't go, I don't know who that is. Go, oh, wow, that must be insane because I've never heard of that person. So, because we would love to just do all famous people because more people listen.
Right.
So when we do non-famous people, we have to find the craziest stories. Right. So trust us, just trust us. And thank you for everybody for trusting us. And if you have trusted us enough to give us a review on Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. If you haven't done it yet, please. It helps the show out a lot.
It does.
We don't know why. It's not our system, but it helps a lot. That purple icon, give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Yeah. Head over, very important here, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now to get your tickets, or ticket, I guess. You wouldn't need multiple tickets.
Just
one person, just the one, to the virtual live show this Thursday, October the 29th, 2020. And it'll also be available for 48 hours afterwards.
Excellent.
To do. And it is the all-violent felon edition of the Prisoner Dating Game. Excellent. Oh, boy, do I have some doozies for Jimmy.
All right.
Some crazy murder stories and violent, horrible things that these people did that I'm going to try to trick Jimmy into going out with the worst one.
Terrific.
That's to picking the worst one. 4 lucky bachelors, 4 lucky bachelorettes, and even a surprise for you.
Oh, great.
You notice every time I up the ante on you, and I got to give you something, a little surprise, a little curveball.
I'll dress like an asshole for you, James.
Oh, it's going to, well, you're going to feel like one when you're done with the show, so don't worry about that. Check it out, though. It's so much fun. Live this Thursday, shutupandgivememurder.com. And also Patreon. Patreon's been hot with the episodes.
It's so much fun.
I love those episodes. Yeah. And this week, we're going to have a lot of fun because this week on our regular show, we have a wrestler, which is always some of our most fun episodes, obviously.
They do dumb shit.
They do. There's a certain level of crazy. Yeah. And then you add in brain damage and steroid use and everything else into the mix,
and the wild lifestyle altogether.
That's the other thing. Yeah. It's a like an 80s rock star lifestyle mixed with like you have to also be jacked. It's a weird thing. Like imagine if like all the guys in Poison had to be like jacked to the gills on top of doing what they were doing. It would have been. It would have been even worse. It would have been like these guys. So we're going to talk about a wrestler. Our bonus episode is also going to be wrestling based, but you definitely don't have to care about wrestling just to hear an insane story. If you're a wrestling fan, you know the story probably a little bit, but if you're not, you want to hear this. It's called in the kind of the language of wrestling, it's called the plane ride from hell, which was a plane ride back in 2002 where the wrestlers were returning from Europe on a charter flight, an entire flight full of wrestlers with a full and unlimited open bar.
Oh, my.
And basically, I mean, there was lawsuits that came out of this. There was sexual things. There was fighting and breaking shit. And imagine the entire crew of wrestlers flying over. The story is absolutely bonkers. And if you want to hear about it, we're going to talk about it this week on Patreon, patreon.com/crimeinsports. Anybody over the $5 level, and you get access to all of the bonus stuff, all the small town murder bonus stuff, which is rarely about murder, about small town murder. It's usually about some sort of crazy violence. So do all of that. Check that out and get with us. And also, Jimmie will mispronounce your name at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So that's also going to be a thing. And if you just want to have good karma and get your name mispronounced and just do a one-time donation, you can do that over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Thank you guys for everything you do. Everybody out there.
Heroes.
Honestly, thank you so much. You make it possible to put together crazy shit like this. Let's get into this, Jimmie.
Great.
Let's do it. Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
You know Kurt Angle, right?
I do.
There you go. Everybody kind of knows Kurt Angle because he was an Olympic hero.
Is that why?
Before he was a wrestler. So even if Kurt Angle kind of never got into WWE, a lot of people knew who he was because he won an Olympic gold medal.
What do you want for what?
Wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, he's a freestyle Olympic gold medalist heavyweight wrestler. He's like...
I knew there was wrestling in the Olympics, but I don't think I've ever seen an Olympic wrestling match.
Because it's boring as balls.
Because there's no fucking showmanship. Nobody's wearing pink rubber bands around their
You're not allowed to suplex.
Yeah.
There's no like vertical suplexes. There's no ropes to come off of.
Nobody's slamming beer cans together and guzzling before a match.
It's pretty lame. There's no interviews beforehand. They don't say what they're going to do to the other person, which I miss as well. It's boring. If you guys have ever seen amateur wrestling, you probably only saw it for about 30 seconds, and you went, nothing else is going to happen? Okay, never mind.
The only one that I watch all the way to the end is that kid missing a leg. I'll watch that kid
impressive.
every time.
I've met that kid, by the way. Yeah, he used to...
You wrestled at ASU, right?
Yeah. It's through... Anyway,
it's unbelievable.
I was at a party with him. He's a super nice guy. Real humble cat. Yeah. Nice guy. He's got one fucking leg. So
does he snapping one on to walk around, or does he just use crutches?
He was walking around doing his thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's cool as shit.
Watching him wrestle is intense.
Oh, he's wild, dude. Yeah, guy's amazing.
That I'll watch all day.
That's different.
There's got to be something that's different.
This is not... amateur wrestling's not fun to watch. It's extremely difficult, and it's, the training and it's hard as shit. For the conditioning, first of all, is crazy, and then the actual doing it's really hard, and it's very technical and skillful, and I get all of that.
Timing's everything.
Fuck, is it boring to watch, man. It is like watching paint dry. And they get that. If you watch if you see like a college tournament, there's the kids' parents are there. There's nobody's coming to watch that. Like, we're going to the wrestling match tonight. Woo! We're gonna fucking tailgate that thing. It's gonna be
there's never been anybody happier that MMA came around to mask their cauliflower ear from What do you fight MMA? Yes, I definitely do.
Yeah, totally.
Or he just went wrestling through college.
That's it. One of the
got a free education for it.
That's true. Well, he did it all, Kurt Angle. So he's an Olympic champ. Like, this dude legitimately... This is one guy that we hope not to piss off, because if we ever see him, he could tear our bodies in half. Both of us together at the same time. Like, beat one of us with the other one and then tear us apart.
Like a phone book.
With his bare hands. Yeah, he's an animal.
But he was a star, too, in the WWE.
Oh, huge star.
One of the biggest.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was an Olympic. He's a legit wrestler. So you can put him out there and go, he can kick giant guys' asses. And you go, he could.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's true. I saw him do it. I saw him legitimately do that. So it was one of those things when somebody would wrestle him, they would have a hint of, there's some legitimacy to this. Obviously.
This might be real.
In the, benefit of the doubt, whatever. Yeah. And then someone comes out and smashes him with a guitar.
Right.
So you're like, okay, never mind.
It's not real anymore.
And it blows up into little confetti pieces when it does it. I love that. And later in wrestling, and by the late 90s, when they'd hit somebody with a guitar, it was like a balsa wood, and it would just explode into seven. Guy'd be standing there with just half the neck, half the neck with strings sticking off of it at the end. You're like, no,
that doesn't happen.
In the 80s, what Hockey Talk Man had to do with a guitar, it would there was just a head hole in the guitar, plunk, and that was it. A fucking head hole. Right. There was a whole guitar afterwards. It was fucking like, whoa, that hurt like a bitch.
When you get hit with a real guitar, it
hurts.
Yeah.
We talked about the Jake the Snake episode when Hockey Talk Man hit him, and then he blamed his drug use on it, even though he was already deep into drug use.
That comedian that hit a patron with the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't do what it does in wrestling.
Comedian's dream.
You know that hurt.
Comedian's dream. I know everybody's like, yeah, I know it's boo, but as a comic, you're kind of going,
they probably deserve it.
I've had that night, and you've seen that guy. You know that guy.
Yeah.
There's that guy.
I just wish I was
there.
I wish I was a guitar act that night.
Ooh, you just want to take, as you're talking, you get a laugh, you want to just take the mic, slide down to the cord, swing that fucking mic, whap him in the face with it, catch it again, and then go into your next fucking joke.
Like Steven Tyler.
That's just bang. Okay. And anyway, so I was saying, just for him, Jesus Christ, with a head wound. That's all. You have no idea. So anyway, Kurt Angle, we haven't talked about it all, but Kurt Stephen Angle is his full name.
Excellent.
So Kurt with a K, in case you don't know. He's born December 9th, 1969. He originally, I guess, was living in Dormont, Pennsylvania when he was young. He's got 4 brothers and a sister. So a lot of kids in this family. And a lot of boys, too. That's a lot of testosterone running around. And like all of them are like athletes and wrestlers.
That's
and
6 total?
Yeah, that's so
a lot.
That's a lot of brothers and a lot of sisters, or one sister, but a lot of kids.
You lose track of a couple.
You lose track, and they're all, like I said, they're all like into sports and wrestling. So the boys are like fighting each other all over the living room. Like they don't have a piece of drywall in that house that hasn't had an elbow through it or something in a kids wrestling match or something.
Mom's hair's a mess.
Oh yeah. Well.
She's resigned to jeans and T-shirts years ago.
She just somehow gets an Italian and New York accent to say, "What are you doing? What are you doing in there?" No matter what she is.
In her short-ass jeans.
Jesus Christ! Use his bastards, I swear to God. Wait till your father gets home. He's going to kick the shit out of all of you.
You're going to patch that.
You're going to patch that. Your father's going to get his baseball bat, and he's going to come in there and beat the shit out of all of you. Threatening with fucking violence. So his father's name was David Angle, and his father wasn't an athlete, a professional athlete or anything like that. Must have had some athletic stock, though, to pass this all on. But he was a crane operator.
There you go.
So, yeah, he was a
hard-working son of a bitch.
A Western Pennsylvania, hard-working, blue-collar guy. He, worked and had a bunch of kids, so he had bills to pay and mouths to feed. Imagine all the milk those kids were going through back in the day.
Oh, boy.
When people drank milk by the gallon. Like, those boys were just tearing through the milk, I imagine. It's fucking awful. So Kurt grows up playing football and basketball, or football and wrestling, and his dad and his mom are always at the games. His mom's secretary named Jackie, but so the family ends up moving in the 6th grade. When Kurt's in the 6th grade, they move to Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and that's where he goes to high school. And kind of
where's that at? Is that close by?
I think it's Western Pennsylvania.
Near Pittsburgh.
Near Pittsburgh,
okay.
I think. Yeah, that's because he's all about Pittsburgh later on. He's
really,
Mr. Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's very much into Pittsburgh. He wrestles. He plays football. Then when he's 16, there's a bit of an issue.
Oh boy.
Kurt's family. I don't know how to put this. Is pretty doomed. The whole clan is just cursed.
It's all dark.
Oh, he's cursed.
Yeah.
Like, he's successful, but also cursed, but he's by far the least cursed of the whole family. Everyone in this family pretty much is fucking cursed. It's insane, man.
I love it.
Like, the tragedy. Kurt, by now, he's got to be just a sad guy. I don't know how he can go out and do things because of all the things that have happened and then all the self-inflicted things that have happened.
Yeah.
It is a fucking mess.
That's the worst person to be. Somebody who's got just like a bad outlook anday, trajectory, and then you're a self-saboteur at the same time.
That's the thing, because Kurt, let's face it, genetically and everything else, he's been dealt a pretty good hand, and we can't deny that. He not exactly he still had to work really hard, but genetically, dude's been dealt a good hand. Not everybody can look like that, no matter what they put in their body.
The ability makes everything.
Yeah, we could jack you up, we could put steroids in you and all this. You're still not going to be an Olympic freestyle wrestling heavyweight champion that looks like a fucking Greek god. It's not going to happen. Neither am I. It's just not going to work.
2 weeks, I'll be fat as shit.
That's it. You'll be like, I don't think I'm working out enough. Man. I'm looking all over. I don't look like him for some reason.
10,000 calories is a lot. I'm full.
My balls are shrunken up. I got that part of it, but that's it. I don't
know that I can get to the gym. I need a nap.
Else. Yeah, I'm pretty tired, to be honest with you.
So full.
I've eaten so much today. Just so much. And those shakes, those are filling. It's like a meal.
That is maybe the most impressive part of a bodybuilder is how much shit they cram down their throat and still make it to the fucking gym.
No,
that's crazy.
I've known guys that do that, and you watch them eat, and you're like, first of all, any movement would make me throw up right now. And
you just ate 11 chicken breasts.
And now you're going to go bench press a whole bunch and do squats and shit. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, how are you not throwing up constantly? So, August of 1985, Kurt's 16 years old. We're not quite 16 yet, almost 16. Yeah. He'll be 16 in a couple months. And his father falls out of a 15-foot-high crane and lands on his head.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. See, that's something that things like that happen. Certain things that happen to Kurt have nothing to do with what he does. They're just tragedies that he has to deal with. And then there's things that happen that he very much could have avoided he kind of just turns into. he's self-destructive for a while, but not now, obviously.
How do you fall from that height on your head?
I don't know if it was a...
That sounds like you tried to reach back and then fell awkwardly. That's probably what happened.
What I'm saying. Yeah, he was trying to save himself or something, and you fall down. He's skull cracked.
Oh no!
He fractured his skull. He still took himself to the hospital.
Yeah,
he managed to do that, but then he slipped into a coma after arriving at the hospital, and was in a coma for 2 days before he died.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So, I mean, good news. Your dad's out of the coma.
Right. That's the toughest man on earth.
Bad news.
Well, he used to be.
That's the thing. Yeah.
He drove himself to the hospital dying.
It says he walked himself. I don't know how he would have done that. Yeah, I don't know if he's close to a hospital. That's harder, I would think, to walk yourself to at least a car. You're sitting down.
Yeah.
You can fucking relax.
But you got to do things.
I guess you need your move. But to walk, you got to. That takes a lot of effort.
Either transportation mode is impressive.
Cracked skull and take a nap. I'm going to lay down. Made it about half a block, decided to take a nap. Or a coma.
Yeah.
Decided to take a little coma on the sidewalk here. Just a little one.
And he died. God damn it.
That's terrible. Yeah. For any kid, that's bad. I mean, when your parent dies when you're an adult, it's not great. Mm-hmm. But when you're 16, and your dad is, kind of always there, comes to all your matches, does all your shit with you, and, he's just gone. That's a blow, man. Yeah. That's wild. So, Kurt puts everything, and this is what he always says he does, and the results show. He puts every time he has a tragedy, he puts everything into whatever athletics he's doing, blocks it all out. Yeah. Everything goes into that. He's got that ability to be able to focus his energy somewhere. So he does that. That week, he had a really good football game in high school, and he said that it's. That he did it for his dad and all that kind of thing. And he said that, it's kind of one of those things where shit that happens this bad maybe made him do things that were great, things that were terrible, but also things that were great. And
channeling that rage.
That's the thing.
Sometimes it's nice to have that high octane in the fuel tank.
Exactly. Well, and he says this in his autobiography later. He says, quote, "I grew up and overcame my fears the day my father died. I vowed right then and there to become a champion, to do whatever it took." So I don't know. I guess that makes sense. You kind of lose your fear maybe from shit. Some people would be nothing but fear. That's just different human beings react in a different way here. So he gets better, though, here. In 11th grade, he places third in the heavyweight class at the Pennsylvania AAA Interscholastic Athletic Association Championships.
Good Lord.
Holy fuck, is that a lot of words?
Why would you name it that?
It's just too much. Pennsylvania AAAs.
Yeah.
There you go. Done. Yeah, it's perfect. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
It doesn't even say it's wrestling. Wrestling. Interscholastic Athletic Association Championships. For the love of Christ. So anyway, he places...
AAA sue him for that. We tow cars. We don't wrestle kids.
We don't wrestle. I mean, we will for a price. There's a gold package that includes kid wrestling, but you got to pay extra for that. There's the roadside assistance and the tire package and the windshield and all that kind of thing. And then there's the kid wrestling package, much more expensive. So in 12th grade, he was the Pennsylvania heavyweight wrestling champion. Of wrestling. Okay. So not bad.
Of the state.
Yeah. And then he won the Junior National Freestyle Tournament in the heavyweight division as well that year.
All right.
So Kurt's a bad motherfucker when he's 17 years old.
Fucking winner.
Yeah, he's a winner. He's just he's a machine. If you've seen him in wrestling, just in WWE or TNA later or something, he's a fucking machine, and he's built like a brick shithouse too. So for a guy that size to move like he does and throw himself around, he was a hard worker. So he also was named the Football Defensive Player of the Year for Western Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
So he's got the world as his oyster here, as far as he can go to college, he can play football, he can wrestle, he can do whatever he wants, which is kind of cool. I think in college though, it's one of those. I think you gotta choose a path in college. It's not football and baseball.
Yeah.
Wrestling is different training from football a lot. Like, I don't think they go together
also,
for college when you're at that level.
The chances of hurting yourself either way, you think that the coach of whatever side would encourage you not to do the other one.
That's true. Yeah, that's
just for the...
Well, yeah, no coach wants their players doing anything else but what they're doing.
Don't play football. Are you out of your fucking mind?
Crazy. Yeah, no, I would think any coach would advise kids, football coaches like, you shouldn't play football. This is crazy. I know it's fun. I know. Believe me.
Yeah.
Played my whole life. It's so much fun. It's really great. You're going to love it. But you're going to definitely get fucked up.
So dangerous.
There's no way to do this and not fuck yourself up. There's just no way.
You want kids?
Yeah. Come on. So he graduates from Mount Lebanon High School in 1987, and he wants to play sports in college, obviously, and he has to decide between football and wrestling, and he does. He picks... everybody wants him to play football.
Of course.
Because it's a more lucrative sport.
Much more mainstream.
Yeah, if you're going to give away a scholarship,
right,
you might as well give it to somebody who might put an ass in a seat somewhere rather than,
sure,
wrestling. So, but they thought he was none of the big colleges wanted him because they thought he was too small.
Really?
Yeah, at the time he was only 5'10", ends up being around 6 foot, 5'11".
He's not tall.
Not a tall guy, but he was about 200 pounds. That's not a big guy for football. Like you better be real fucking fast if you're that size in football.
Right.
You better be
and then even at that, you're going to be a fullback.
Yeah, well, fullback you need another 30, 40 pounds.
Right.
And halfback you need another shitload on your 40 speed.
You need to drop 10 and be faster.
Yeah, you need to be like a 4.40 if you're going to do that. And I don't think Kurt's running a 4.4 shit.
No.
So it's... not a lot of Western Pennsylvania white dudes running 4.40s. It's just not a common thing. And if they are, they're probably lanky.
Yeah.
They're probably not built like Kurt, I doubt. So one of those deals. So he was kind of discouraged by all of this. So he decides to go to Clarion University.
What is that?
In Clarion, Pennsylvania. That's
really?
It's in Clarion.
Where the fuck is that?
I have never heard of Clarion, Pennsylvania, or Clarion University.
I've only heard of hotels and stereo equipment.
Yeah, Clarion University sounds like a university where you go to learn how to put eyeshadow on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to Clarion University. Oh my God, amazing. They have a 6-month eyeshadow program that goes into this other lipstick program that's amazing, and you should really pair it with an eyebrow threading program.
And when I graduate from this, I'll go to Barbizon.
I'm going to Barbizon. I'm going to Barbizon. So
that's the natural progression steps. Clarion, you get your undergrad.
That's how
and
it
you
works.
head on over to Barbizon
for your if you're a graduate work.
Right.
Yeah, so you get your master's.
Really get an all-around education.
You got to do what that's what you do, and then you go. Finally, now you're prepared to work at Glamour Shots. That's how that works.
For the Mac counter at Macy's.
One of the two. An old mall, Olin Mills. I don't know. One of those. You're gonna work there.
Hell yeah!
Get those kids ready for that picture.
That's the nice part about Barbizon is that they send your they send your resume right over to JCPenney.
That's how it works. Once you're in with Sears, then you're set. At that point, that's a life.
Selling packages.
That's a life.
The rest of your life,
man.
Right here, you get the 8 wallets.
The rest of your life, you're selling packages.
Hole in Mills.
25 wallets. You get the 8x10, the 5x7. This is a fucking deal. I'm sorry, pal. You're not going to find this.
All these pictures of the worst picture you've ever taken.
Oh,
Can't you wait?
We hang like a blue fucking blanket in the background. Put your kids up there. I don't know.
Stand next to this bullshit fence we put together last Sunday.
I don't know. Lighting? We got a light. Yeah. Of course we got lights. What do you think? Is it going to take pictures in the dark?
I can't believe that was a fucking thing we all did.
Sit there, dress your kids up, the goofy outfits.
All
so
the same fucking flannel print.
Oh, God.
So dumb.
I have one picture that was like taken at a place for my entire childhood where like when my little brother, my dad, my stepmother, I'm sure. I can't imagine my father. Like my father, fine man and a good dad and everything, but he's not, and I'm the same way. I'm not like, you know what we should do?
We got a free Sunday.
I've been working hard all week. I'd like to dress the kids up.
I've been working hard all week. I got nothing to do this day.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do.
Let's do this. No. I'm going to miss the Giants game. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. They're only fighting for a playoff spot. We're going to dress the kids up. We're going to head down to the mall for about 3 hours so I can spend $59.95 to get a shitload of pictures that nobody wants.
See what aggravation really is. Let's go give it a run.
And that exists now. I have one of those when I was a kid. Like, this is perfect. Me and my brother. It's just me and my little brother as a baby sitting there.
You're holding him.
That's the fucking picture. It's just, hey, how you doing?
I've got one of us, of my family, and then I have
Eric.
one of my grandparents. And I'll be honest, my grandparents look better.
Than you?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
They look like they belong in that picture with that gold Olin Mills in the corner.
Yeah, that's what
it's
this
fantastic.
one has. Has the gold Olin Mills in the corner. That's when that Olin Mills means mall quality.
It's a picture of success.
Nah. That means mall. That means B mall quality because the A mall doesn't have an Olin Mills. Your town's B mall has an Olin Mills. That's what keeps it afloat. the Olin Mills, and they have like one of those Sears appliance centers. People come and buy fucking washing machines. Just appliances. And they fix them and shit there. It's got Maytag in there and everything. The whole deal. That's the shit B-mall, the Burlington Coat Factory. That's what everybody had 15 years ago when there was malls.
Some airbrush shop.
Some shit like that. Before they started. Now they just put malls outside.
Right.
Like, you know what sucks about this? The roof. Right. If only we could have less temperature control and
any control at all over fucking anything.
Bugs.
Right.
We need more bugs in here. Yeah. Birds would be good too. If they could fly through shit on things, that'd be excellent. I'd like that a lot.
People really like walking their dogs around.
It's Arizona and they're building them all over the place. It's 118 degrees for 6 months.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to put some misters up there that'll evaporate long before it touches your fucking forehead.
No, it'll cause humidity, but won't kill the heat at all. It's good.
It'll make you sweat 10 times more.
I know it's a dry heat. We're going to make it not a dry. It's going to be a nice wet heat now. It'll be $1.18 with 77% humidity. How's that sound? Perfect? Good?
What would Miami be like if it was a little bit hotter and less hot people?
Okay, no. What if we put an Olin Mills in? Now you're in, right? Now you're in, right?
Let's go get one of those pictures.
Boom.
With just soggy shoulders.
Your soggy shoulders.
Fucking great.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Sorry, Kurt.
Sorry, Kurt.
Destroyed your show to talk about Olin Mills.
We're having fun. I don't know what to tell you. I slept about an hour and a half last night. We're putting together the prisoner dating game. I'm fucking taking edibles. I'm all sorts of having a good time. I don't give a shit.
Fantastic.
Fuck it. So, yeah. So, Kurt, anyway, during his first year at Clarion, he wins 29 matches.
Wow.
Which seems good. I don't know how many they're doing.
How many did he fight?
It could be like 150. Right. We don't know. But 29 sounds like a lot.
It's impressive.
I assume they can't do more than 30, 35?
Well, I mean, a school year is 40 weeks?
Yeah.
And you're not wrestling every weekend, so that's probably
30. I'm going like a college basketball season. Like they got about 30 games-ish, regular
there's probably
season.
3-4 matches a meet weekend? Maybe 5?
Yeah, because it's a tournament always.
Right.
There's got these tournaments.
29 sounds pretty impressive.
We know.
Right.
Yeah, put it all together.
We'll make it all up.
I think it's good.
Make up a wrestling meet on the fly.
He did well. He's
very impressive.
I love how we can logic something
and take us down the wrong path and just be like, fuck yeah.
That's right.
That's how it works.
That sounds logical. As long as it sounds logical, fuck it. So he wins 29 matches, but I guess it's good because he's named the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year. So I suppose that's good.
It must be.
29 must be good. I bet they have 30-something. So they must. He skips his sophomore season wrestling.
Really?
Doesn't wrestle in his sophomore season because he says he just wants to train.
Oh.
He's going to take the season and just train.
Oh.
So he's an animal.
Those juniors he's coming to wrestle are going to better be shaking.
They better be ready. Yeah. He spent the season lifting weights and doing technique and shit like that, getting ready and just training. He said that thought that could help him win a national championship. Was he needed that extra, just a time of just buckling down and training. Sure. And during the 1990 season, his junior year, I guess, he had a 30-0-1 record.
That's awesome.
30 wins, 0 losses, and 1 draw.
That's awesome.
So I guess about 30. So there we go. That's fucking, we were right. See, look, sometimes logic prevails. Even if we're idiots and we don't know anything, sometimes
it's probably
we figure
29-1.
That's what I mean. So 30-0-1 is pretty fucking impressive. That's during the regular season. He hurt his knee. This is all based on some weird book, by the way. It's his book, like Olympic. It's about his Olympic shit, basically his amateur career. He hurt his knee right before the NCAA championships, and he still wins the Division I heavyweight title.
Yeah, because you can do that with one leg. I've seen it.
He did it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Usually, though, I would think if it's hurt, that leg's a
hindrance.
It's a hindrance. Yeah, at that point, you're dragging it. You'd be like, "Can you cut this off for the rest of the match?"
Yeah, it's not like the guy with one leg feels any pain.
Yeah, he's lighter or something. I don't know. I guess they say that if you have. Obviously, it's way more impressive to win with one leg.
Sure.
But I guess if you have like half your leg gone, then your weight could be distributed on your upper body and you'd have more strength there. I don't fucking
Center
know.
of gravity changes.
It's all different.
It's all kind of shit.
It's all different, but amazing and impressive. So he wins that, and this is kind of a theme in his career. He gets hurt and then does really good things while he's hurt. It's a weird thing that he always does. Yeah, he's any pain, emotional or physical, causes him to buckle down.
He's good at redirection
and do better. Yeah, 1991, he wins 33 matches in a row.
Wow.
So that's pretty impressive in the NCAA. He hurt his knee about a month before the NCAA championships and still wrestled in the tournament. And I guess he hurt his knee worse this time, but he lost the final match, which was the last match of the year and the only match he lost. So a little bit pissed off, obviously. He's in second place. He said he wanted to win one more national championship, and he's ready to do that. He trains before the 92 season, and 92 season he goes 26-0.
Wow.
Not bad. And then enters the NCAA championships, and Kurt weighed 199 pounds in his final match. Yeah. And the guy he was wrestling weighed 275 pounds.
What?
Which is pretty fucking, it's heavyweight. So
It's just sky's the limit.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a super heavyweight.
That's sumos.
Is it sumos?
Yeah.
Is it like Tough Man? Do they have like a...
I think you have to fly to Japan when you get to that weight.
Oh, shit. We got to fly him out. Hey, kid, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Clarion can't hold you anymore. We got to fly you to Tokyo to handle this.
Those matches.
Oh, boy. This is too much.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
So he beats the guy, though, and he wins the national title.
Unreal.
So, yeah, he wrestles...
Real David and Goliath.
I guess so. I guess it's also a talent, skill thing, but you think just that much weight you'd be able to... I don't know. You'd be able to throw it around a little bit and, just
you won't think
bully somebody.
75 pounds on somebody?
Kurt's got to be very strong, is what that means. He's got to make up for that weight with strength, which is, that's a lot of strength to make up. But
sure.
If you've seen him, he looks like a cyborg, so he can do it. 1992, he graduates from Clarion. He has a degree in geography, which I did not know you could get a degree in knowing where shit is.
That's it.
It's a weird degree.
You can read any map.
He's real good.
Yeah.
Ask me where Sri Lanka is, buddy. I'll fucking tell you right now.
I'll show you the shape.
Boom.
Don't even
look at that. Take all
the names off every country.
I'll label them.
I'll show you. I'll label them.
I'll label them. Give me a Sharpie. Let's go. Yeah, Sharpie. I got that much confidence. Dry erase my fucking balls. I know what this is. See that? It's fucking Jordan right there. Look at that. United Arab Emirates. I know the whole Middle East.
You heard of Georgia, not the state.
I know it. Boom. Bulgaria. I bet you didn't even know where the fuck that was, did you, huh? You didn't even know that existed. I know where Borat's from. I'll show you. Look.
They don't make cars there.
Right there. See? I could do it. So that's Kurt. He can do it. His total record at Clarion in wrestling was 116 wins, 10 losses, and 2 ties.
That's impressive.
That's really, really good. He set a bunch of school records. He set records. He had 150 single-season takedowns. And his 355 career takedowns still stand as records. Wow. I don't know if it's at the school or in, NCAA or whatever the fuck, but he starts training with the U.S. wrestling team right after that. When he graduates, he finishes 3rd at the World Cup Championships and 4th at the U.S. Nationals.
Awesome.
So he's a bad motherfucker. Yeah. He tries out for the Olympic team that year, but he doesn't make it. He's a little young for that. You got to kind of
just got out of college.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the guys are a little more seasoned, and so he's getting better though. He wanted to make the team, but he didn't. He finished 2nd in the U.S. Nationals in 1993, and he's winning. He won some tournament in France. He's doing a lot in amateur wrestling and building his skills, and he wants to ultimately be on the 1996 Olympic team. Yeah. That's the goal here. It's Barcelona, I believe, right? That's the dream.
No, that was 92.
It's 92. Dream Team 2.
96 was
Atlanta.
Greece. Atlanta. You're right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Greece was after that, right?
I think
2000?
so. Yeah, I hate the fucking Olympics.
It's so dumb.
I hate. The only thing I know about the Olympics is the Dream Team and anything that we talk about on Crime and Sports, because I just ignore the Olympics.
I know Seoul and Barcelona just because I was young and I loved Stacey Augman.
That was cool.
That's a good one.
Basketball teams. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a bunch of sports that aren't spectator sports that we don't watch.
It's basketball.
Yeah,
those are the ones I know.
That's it, because it's players that we wanted to watch. Right. Otherwise, I don't want to watch a bunch of people I've never heard of play a bunch of sports that I don't want to watch
and I don't care about.
Yeah. Let's. Oh, you're going to swim? I'm going to watch this closely. The fuck? Who the fuck wants to watch a person swim? It's an amazing thing and it's talent, but it's not visually stimulating to watch. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just look at the time and you go, "Wow, that's great."
That seems fast.
To watch it, there he goes. He's trying. He's not drowning. Nobody's drowning. This is impressive.
I don't know how anybody watched that pre Michael Phelps, because with Michael Phelps they started to throw technology in it, and they had the bar going to see what the record was and see where he is versus that bar. Otherwise, you're just sitting there watching the clock and knowing
watching him swim. Bird's eye view of people not drowning. Right. It's like, this is boring as fuck. And they're all going the same speed, so their speed doesn't. It's like NASCAR. Yeah. You don't see the speed.
Right.
Put a fat guy in the pool.
Put me in the pool.
Just somebody doggy paddle and try.
Shit really is.
Wow, they're lapping that guy. That's impressive.
They just splashed him in the face.
Holy shit. So for this, he's going to train. He needs a trainer. He needs somebody special, like an Olympic trainer. So he gets David Schultz, not Dr. D. David Schultz, who smacked John Stossel, who we've talked about in a bonus episode one time. Not that David Schultz, an actual Olympic wrestler who won an Olympic gold in 1984, named David Schultz. And he kind of is a coach. And he's helping people prep for the 96 Olympic team. Because I don't know what else you would do as an amateur wrestler. I don't know how those skills translate to the real world.
Yeah.
There was no MMA really back then. So,
and then he majored in the geography bee, so he's pretty well fucked.
He's pretty well fucked. I don't know how that's so. You better train.
Really painting himself into a corner here.
This is the thing. All this, who's paying for all this?
Yeah.
How much does he have to eat to train like he's doing for 4 years? I don't know. I hope there's is there funds for people, like Olympic hopeful funds or something?
Like grants?
I don't know. Is he working on a crane during the day? I don't hear any of that.
Also, the crane operator salary went away, and now we're just on a secretary salary. This can't be easy.
Imagine if you were just such a good athlete. People were just like, no, don't work.
Oh, forget it. We got it.
Take care of your body. Imagine that. Just train.
People just hand you off chicken sandwiches all day.
No, he's going to do great things. Imagine that. Imagine if they did that in comedy. Right. No, he's hilarious. He's hilarious. No.
If you ask him to tell you a joke, I swear to Christ, I'll slap you.
It's just, he won't even have funny. To. Just let him be. Just train.
Give him the Coke.
Just train. Give him the Coke. So Schultz and Angle were members of Team Foxcatcher, which was a wrestling squad that was financed by John DuPont.
Of the painting fortune.
Of the DuPont. Yeah, he's a philanthropist at this point. And DuPont, I don't know if you've heard about this story. We'll definitely do a bonus episode on this story because it's fucking insane. DuPont was loopy as shit. He was absolutely insane.
Really?
Batshit crazy, bonkers insane.
How do you mean?
Fucking serious mental illnesses. He had delusional schizophrenia.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not talking.
Needed a hospital.
No, I'm not talking like, he's, I don't know, he's a little annoying.
Right.
Or
he thinks it's Thursday. It's Monday.
Yeah, he might need a little therapy,
right.
That guy. I don't know, or something. No, he's fucking delusional,
wow,
crazy. Like, did you just see the thing that was here?
Has
like,
no idea where he is.
You're lying. I'll kill you. What the fuck are you talking about?
The voice is in my head.
Yeah. Apparently things got worse and worse for him as the team prepped for the Olympics. DuPont got crazier and crazier and started threatening wrestlers. Like physically threatening them. He pulled a gun on one.
Oh, no.
He kicked a wrestler off the team with a gun. He said, you get out of here, pull a gun. That's not how you kick a fucking amateur wrestler off a team. This is not it's not a mob squad here. It's not the, like, you didn't just tell on the Don. Like, what is happening? They're amateur wrestlers. Right. What could you do to cause gunplay inside of a little circle on a mat?
How do you get from A to B there?
Wow, that's a lot. So on January 26, 1996, he shot Schultz 3 times and killed him.
Really?
Yeah, he killed David Schultz.
Coach.
Yeah, DuPont, the financier of the team.
Holy shit, and killed him.
He killed his coach. Yeah, he killed Schultz. He pointed a gun at him and ended up shooting him 3 times. And he was sentenced to 13 to 30 years in prison. DuPont for this.
That seems light.
He's nuts as fuck.
It's a crazy play.
Like, no, he's in prison, but he should probably be. I feel bad for the fucking other people in the prison with a guy like him because
did he get like a crazy plea or was it just convicted?
I don't. We'll talk about it.
We'll get to it
when we do a bonus episode.
That's a nutty story.
It's a crazy story. It's a pretty famous story, but we'll get into some details on it. So Kurt is absolutely devastated by this. He said Schultz was a father figure to him, basically. Right. He doesn't have a father. He's been looking for somebody to latch onto, and he finds this guy, and he's fucking shot.
So now he doesn't have that, and he doesn't have the money.
And he doesn't have the money. The guy, his dad falls on his head. This guy gets shot by a fucking philanthropist. What the hell? What luck is that?
Right.
Your dad falls on his head out of a crane. What are the odds? And then fucking a wealthy philanthropist shoots your wrestling coach?
The spray paint guy shot my coach?
How often does that happen? What's next? Is the Dutch boy going to fuck my wife? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening?
Him the Energizer Bunny.
What's happening?
It just keeps going and going.
It
won't stop. Man. I walked in on him.
It's so gross. It's so gross. I said, when are you going to be finished? He said, never.
That Dutch boy high-fived him. It was weird.
It was fucked up. The Eiffel Tower and it was nasty, man. It was wrong. But I'll tell you what, the fucking living room, the gloss on that paint, it was pretty good. I had to let it go.
Yeah.
I had to let it go. It was that good of a job. So he ends up being he ends up making the Olympics, Kurt, as we know. He ends up being the only member of Team Foxcatcher to make the Olympics, and he dedicates his everything to the trainer. And every time they talk to him, everything's in memory of his trainer, and this is all for David Schultz and all this type of shit. So during the Olympic trials, to make it in the first place, he landed on his head during I don't know if it's training or a match, but he landed on his head, not even from a crane, just from a wrestling position, and herniated 2 discs
in his neck,
and cracked 2 vertebrae.
Oh no!
So and pulled 4 muscles as well.
That will fuck your life up.
It does, yeah. It fucks your life up good. And he ends up, basically, he definitely should have not wrestled, and he just kept going.
Wow.
He won the match. It was apparently a match that he hurt it in. So during that match, he did that and won the match.
Unbelievable.
So he was winning the match. He ended up winning the match 4-3 after he was down 0-3. Got hurt and then won 4-3.
Unbelievable.
So then he won 4 straight points, I guess, after that, after he got hurt. So, next day he went for an MRI, and they told him to not do anything for 6 months.
Right.
Rest and heal for 6 months. So he said, well, that's not going to work. So he tried to find doctors that would say you're good, basically. So he got a second opinion. He found a doctor, he said, this is what Kurt Angle said, that was, quote, either smart enough or stupid enough to allow him to wrestle, to give him clearance, basically. One or the other. And they said no more the doctor told him this, no training in between, just wrestle, and take shitloads of Novocaine before each match. Just load your neck up so you can't feel it, and then wrestle, and you'll be able to go.
That's one way to get the movement there, but that's going to fuck you up.
Oh, you have no idea what you're doing in there.
That's so much damage.
It's so terrible to
wrestle.
You just
can't feel how bad it is.
So they say, but go ahead there. This is ridiculous. He should have not been anywhere near a fucking wrestling tournament or having Novocaine shot. This is your neck.
Right.
And he's a young guy. He's 26 years old right now. That's a real young to have your neck fucked up that bad. So he does it, though. He wrestles. He wins every goddamn match. Going into it, he finally, in the end of it, he wins the gold medal. He beats Abbas Jadidi to win. You know him.
Badass.
Abbas is,
It's actually Abyss.
It's I'm sorry. You're right. God damn it. He's going to be mad at me now for that. So, and Konstantin Alexandrov was I think he's from one of the Borat countries. I'm not sure. One of the unpronounceable K countries that don't have enough vowels in them from that region of Central Asia below Russia, former Soviet bloc country.
Kurspeka, Ukraine, Stan.
Kurt would know which country it is. Yeah, he's got a geography degree, but
and the capital.
Yeah, and the capital, but and their biggest export.
GDP and all of it.
That's it. So, he does that. He wins the gold medal.
Oh.
So he wins, and this doesn't happen often. Apparently, Americans aren't great at winning the gold medal in wrestling, heavyweight especially.
Yeah.
That's dominated by the Russian,
sure.
It's dominated by the Soviet bloc countries.
By the hardiest of people.
Yeah, they're hardy, and they're really into it.
Right.
Like wrestling around in the ground with each other.
Something to do with hardy and anger. You couple those together and really creates a...
But everybody that he beat, I can't pronounce any of their names. So put it that way. Sagid Murtazaliev? Okay. What the fuck is that? Oh my dude, if this guy was a Patreon donor, you just go, I don't know, it's something with a D. I'm sorry, thank you. You wouldn't even. Dalgor Sergin Sumyabazar.
Wow.
First name Dolgor SU with an umlaut.
Yep.
I gotta have that. Rengiin. That's his first fucking name.
He's got two I's together.
His last name is Sumyaabazar.
How is that a thing?
How is it a fucking name?
How do you put two vowels together like that?
Lot.
Two identicals. Like I get O and U, but I, that's not a thing. A.
Yeah, we get it. I.
A'll do.
I guess it's really specific. I don't know.
It tells you how to pronounce it, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, not here. He does. He does, or he's like, I'll wrestle you otherwise. Right. So once he's an Olympic gold medalists, now they can make some money. They have a name, and they sponsor things. They get sponsors, and they're hi, I'm so and so for bullshit, and I'm an Olympic gold medal. Remember me?
Right.
Look at
all
that.
you do is put a gold medal on them, and you go, I'll listen to what they say.
Gold medal, USA jacket, and they go out there and they go, I'm a gold medalist. I'm listening.
Sell me your extended stay hotel.
Yeah, sell me something. Sell me term life insurance, please. I want that from a figure skater. So I don't know. That's why it's always something.
So what you get is 8 wallets. We'll throw the 8x10 in for free.
We'll throw it in with the term life insurance. So you get a one round of Olin Mills. Life insurance plus Olin Mills. Who can resist?
That's $164 value.
That's right. We put it right next to the Burlington Coat Factory, the office, and the B Mall. So it's one-stop shopping.
The balls of them to charge what they charged.
I'm telling you.
Yes, it was so expensive.
Very expensive.
Crazy.
Very expensive.
It was 3 digits. I remember that going, what?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Why would we do that?
It seems like, don't you have a camera? What's going on here? Should have one of those little 110s that you do with the big flash things you stick in the top and it sticks out.
Shut up. Get over there and stand next to the fake tray.
That's it. Go ahead. And then you crank to the next picture. Crank. Okay, next one. Click.
Hold on. I got to change the flash block now. This one's burnt out.
Ah, shit. Correct. It only comes with 10 flashes for 24 pictures, so it's kind of a fucking hassle. It's the ultimate hot dog bun situation. It's the ultimate 12 hot dogs for 8 buns. Thanks. I appreciate that. So fucking stupid. So speaking of food, his sponsor, he becomes a marketing representative. So he's sponsored by Proto Foods, the manufacturers of Ostrim, which is a quote ostrich meat based foodstuff.
You can't put stuff in your
food stuff
in your description of your thing,
which means it's sort of food.
Yeah,
I think
if we throw stuff, they can't sue us.
Yeah, like artificial cheese slices, if you read closely, are a food stuff. They call them.
Gross.
It's like a thing made from a food. Like I think Kraft singles are
some sort of
stuff
derivative.
It's a derivative here. So this is an ostrich meat based food stuff. How the fuck do you sell that?
May as well just say kinda. What the fuck?
Well, there's 2 unattractive things there. First, it's ostrich meat, so you got to overcome that with people. Then you're like, okay, so you're okay with ostrich meat. It's a ostrich meat food stuff. They're like, hold on a second, it's not even ostrich meat. I'm not getting like a steak here.
No, there's some in it.
It's mixed in. Don't worry about it. It's a tough sell. So this is when he first sticks his, kind of dangles his toe in the water of professional wrestling. Doesn't wrestle, but he appears at, this is in, I want to say October of 96. I'm going off memory here. He appears at an ECW event.
Oh.
That's Extreme Championship Wrestling. That is where New Jack wrestled.
Right.
So, and this is during the time of craziness, and all the shit we told you about with New Jack is going on during this time.
Wow.
Kurt Angle is Mr. He's got the best posture you've ever seen.
Right.
Mr. Buttoned up, all-American boy. I'm an Olympic champion. I sell ostrich food stuff. Like, he is not like a counterculture guy or like a 90s, like, he's not that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's no X Games in him, like, to be like a 90s term. Like, there's none of that shit going on with Kurt. Kurt is like Mr. America.
Yeah.
You could have plunked Kurt in 1958 and people would have went, that's a fine young man. He's one of those kids, he's one of those guys. So this night he is in the front row. I don't know if they paid him to be there, because they would pay people to be there. Yeah. And Paul Heyman, he's a huckster. I'm sure he would say, hey, we'll get an Olympic champion in there, because it's Pennsylvania. They're both from Pennsylvania, or the company's based in Pennsylvania. He's there.
Legitimize it a little bit.
Just kind of, throw him in, get a little attention. It's just he liked to have surprises. So you announce, hey, there's Kurt Angle. And they did. And Kurt Angle waved to the crowd and he said, I'm happy to be here and I'm an Olympic champion and all that horse shit. So they did that whole thing. And, Kurt was watching it and probably thinking, this is not anything I want to be involved in. These people are crazy. I just saw a man hit another man with a Nintendo.
Right.
This is not what I trained for.
That man just opened his own face.
I saw it. Not even with a razor, just a pair of scissors. He just jammed them in there.
Just his fingers. I'm sure that was open.
He just opened it. Yeah, he just peeled it open like a bag of chips. He just pulled it. God damn. That's crazy. So a woman gave herself a C-section right between the matches. It was wild. She wasn't even in a match. She just came out there and just did it and fucking left.
Well, she did it with yard shields.
It was wild.
It's fucking, and one of the wrestlers gave him to her.
That's it. Passed him from the outside. She needed a foreign object. Somebody distracted the ref while she sliced herself, and then she took the baby away, still with the cord attached, out of the ring. So
baby in one hand, intestines in the other.
Exactly. So during this, he's watching one particular incident. There is a thing between Raven and Sandman. Mm-hmm. Sandman's the guy who Austin stole all the beer drinking and shit from. Yeah. He's that guy. We've talked about him and all this shit. So they have a feud. And in this feud, basically, Raven and his little flock there, his little people, whatever, it was a little brood, they attack Sandman, and they pull out from under the ring. They pull out a wooden cross, and they fucking pin him to the cross, right? Yeah. They do that. And they even put a barbed wire crown on his head because they use so much barbed wire in ECW. So it's just a little wink.
It was leftover.
Nod. Yeah, and he's standing there, and Sandman's on the cross. Kurt Angle flipped his fucking wig.
Really?
Lost his fucking mind.
Not on my watch.
Freaked out, went to Paul Heyman, said, if you fucking show me on here with that shit, I'm going to sue you fucking people. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever fucking heard of, and I'm a Christian, and this is a Christian country.
Calm down, Joe Buck.
He went through the whole thing. Meanwhile, he participated in a very similar thing with, I think, Undertaker on a cross like 3 years later. If you pay me enough,
right.
If Vince McMahon says to do it.
I did this for free.
Yeah, but I'm just in the front row. Get the fuck out of here. But this is before he got wrestling. He'll say at this point he didn't get wrestling. He didn't get really with the whole thing. He wasn't a fan and he didn't really understand it. So
he didn't understand like the tongue-in-cheek bit of this.
Yeah, he just didn't get what it was all about. Mm-hmm. So later on he'll say he gets it. So anyway, he said how offensive it was, and he was like going off saying because Raven is Jewish. That was the thing.
Okay.
He says, and he's, you're having a Jewish guy do this, and like that was a big deal.
Does the audience know that?
He said he's Jewish before, but I mean, I don't think anybody.
Does he like every match
no.
just walk in and go, I'm a Jew?
He's
everybody.
Raven. His real name's Scott Levy. He's Jewish, but he doesn't say, hi, I'm Scott Levy. I play the character of Raven. I'm going to beat this guy up, and then I'm going to go to fucking temple on Saturday.
Shalom Shabbat.
Yeah, Shalom Shabbat. That doesn't fucking, that's not what happened. I got to get in on getting dark out on a Friday. I got to get home. That's not what goes on here. So, it's funny too. I saw an interview with it, and Raven was like, fuck Kurt Angle. He was going off, and the guy goes, well, why didn't you didn't put him up on a Star of David? He goes, I would have fucking rolled away. That's why. Otherwise, I wouldn't have cared. He goes, you can't put him on a star.
Yeah, cross doesn't.
He goes, that's going to roll away. What are you talking about? That's not going to work.
Cross falls over, it stops.
That's what I mean. He goes, it's just better for it. Yeah. And he goes, Sandman's the guy who built the fucking cross. He goes, the one we put on there. He goes, he's the one who built it. He goes, I don't know anything about construction. I'm a fucking Jew. That's what was his joke. He goes, he built it. He's a Christian. He didn't care. It was a joke, you know?
Hilarious.
Yeah, they made Raven come out and apologize at the end of the night and go, I'm sorry if I offended everyone. It was the biggest load of shit, all because Kurt Angle was a fucking... Other people were pissed about it, but Kurt Angle made a big stinking deal out of it. So
Kurt clearly doesn't listen to Marilyn Manson.
It's wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go into wrestling with the idea that I'll be offended by anything that happens besides, you know, pedophilia or something. Outside of that, I'm not going to be. It's wrestling. You have to go in with that mindset. They're trying to make me mad.
Barring public, I don't know, punishment of like women or flogging
That's what I mean.
Or children.
And even women, it's wrestling. They fight each other.
Yeah,
so it's like it's even that's a gray area. Like,
I just mean in general. If you're an offended person, fucking figure it out, man. This life is too short. Calm the fuck down.
So Vince McMahon offers Kurt, because he looks at Kurt as like, this is money, because he's a mainstream star. So he's like, I could get people who don't even watch wrestling to watch this just to check him out. That's what he does. He tries to get mainstream stars. He's looking at him like my new Ken Patera, but better. Because Ken Patera was a big, giant star for him back in the day because he was an Olympic weightlifter. Right. But this guy's an Olympic wrestler, and he's a gold medalist.
He does what we do.
It's a different story with him. He's the most legit guy there is. Angle was interested, but he didn't get wrestling at this point, and he even said he had one catch with the contract, one clause he wanted in there, and that was, he said, quote, this is him later on, quote, if I sign this contract, I can never lose.
What?
After all, he said he just won the freestyling wrestling gold medal, so how could he lose to these guys in the ring like in a wrestling match? That's silly.
Yeah, but you got to come back with
it's wrestling.
You've got to lose for people to fucking watch.
Otherwise, they won't want to see it. Let's go. He's just going to beat that guy.
He's just going to win. Why am I going to watch this match?
If it was real, you just go wrestle him and twist him into a pretzel in fucking 30 seconds. No one's watching that. Right. That's boring.
Go win and see if anybody gives a shit about that.
These people aren't competitive wrestlers. They're fucking, so... Angle said, quote, he looked at me like I was crazy. I took the contract home and waited for Vince to call me, and he never called me. He thought this kid just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
So he was like, he'll come around. Right. And Vince was like, well, never mind that guy. He says he'll never lose. That kind of takes... I don't know what you're going to do with that.
I had a giant guy stab a fat white kid in Rhode Island last week. I can't tell you what's going to happen in that
Anything
ring.
could happen. Anything
I have no idea.
You don't fucking know anything. So he spends a good year and a half watching wrestling and kind of trying to figure it out. He watches WWE, watches everything else, and he gets into it now and he gets what's going on. He's like, okay, you can't have a guy never lose because then there would be no drama.
Right.
And nobody would want to see a match.
Fucking storyline.
That's the thing. If this guy loses, then it's like, holy shit, he's really going to want revenge now. That's the storyline. That's how you do it. So he approached the WWE and said, I'd like to talk to you guys again. No 8-year contract on the table this time.
It was 8 years before?
They offered him an 8-year contract.
See if the geography bee gives you that.
That's what I mean. That's for Vince, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is because that was the time when WCW was still around, and it was... I mean, this is the height of the competition. Right. So a guy like Kurt Angle, WCW will give him a fuckload of money, and he knows it for a fact. Like, this guy is a hot property. I got to offer him a huge contract right now or he's gone.
Right.
So he does. So he ends up coming back, and they give him a tryout this time rather than a contract. They go, well, let's see what you got. And 3 days after the tryout, he got a deal. So it was probably a pretty good tryout, I would imagine.
That's what you do.
He's a specimen, man. I mean, you could watch this guy and go, Jesus Christ, even if you didn't know how to do the moves of pro wrestling, you go, fuck me, this guy is a goddamn... Yeah. I mean, he's noticeable. Right. When he walks in the aisle, everybody's head's going to turn and go, look at this fucking guy. Sure. It's just that's what you want in wrestling. So he does do that. He makes he doesn't make his TV debut for another year.
Really?
He's got to train. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. If you put him on live TV, he's going to look like an asshole.
Yeah. And all these guys got specific moves, and you got to be able to know what to do with those.
Well, you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
No.
If you're a nobody, you can. Yeah. You can lose for 3 years, they repackage you or something. But if everybody knows who you are, you come in day one, everyone's all attention on you, Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, and you shit the bed and look like a bag of shit out there. You're done.
Yeah.
No one there. You're garbage now. No one looks at you again. So he had to get better. He trained 5 days a month under Dory Funk. He's in with the Funks here. They're training him. The Jerry Briscoe's training him at that point too. And so then they have him work some indies. They have him work down in Memphis, where they kind of had their minor league down there.
Sure.
And so he said about signing with WWE, he said, or WWF at the time, I have gone as far as I can go as an amateur. The WWF is the recognized leader in sports entertainment the world over. He got that right out of Vince McMahon's mouth. Yeah. That's what he used to say, introducing fucking pay-per-views. I will be competing against the very best. Now it's time to put U.S. Angle back into action. I will give the fans 210% of my ability, and my goal is to ultimately become the WWF champion. So just a cornball stock bullshit.
200. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You can't.
Give me a break here. Yeah. So he says at that point, later on, people ask him, like, what made you change your mind about wrestling, basically? What made you go from, it's this bullshit, stupid thing to you want to do it? And he said, quote, by the time I had gotten into it, the cat was out of the bag. It was sports entertainment. It was a premeditated finish. People knew it by 98. There was no, like...
no mistake anymore.
No one was thinking, I bet that guy really beat Kurt Angle. Like, no one thought that, ever. No one thinks Steve Austin can really wrestle Kurt Angle to a fucking... It's not going to happen. He would kill Steve Austin in 2 seconds. He knows what he's doing. Like, tough guy, yes.
And Steve's already drunk.
He's already drunk. He's a lot older than him. And, inside an actual ring with grappling, he's going to fuck him up. Like, it's just not the same form of combat. So maybe in a bar, it's a different story. Yeah. Even then, I don't think Kurt Angle's a guy you can hurt. If you break his neck and he wins still, what do you do to stop a guy like that? You broke his neck, for Christ's sake, and it didn't help. So
I don't even know if Steve Austin can take a punch.
You got to shoot. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. In real life, who the fuck knows if he could take a punch? That's the thing. So, yeah, he said, I think when I came in, there was a bit of shock because USA Wrestling wanted me to continue for another 4 years. Then there was more acceptance for guys who entered the WWE later on. He said, if anything, the amateur wrestling community looks at it now as now where that's one of our guys. Kurt Angle was one of us. It's more of a pride thing now than it was a disgrace because WWE is so big and it's such a global company. People will take pride in knowing the wrestler that represented us is in WWE. Yeah, it used to be an embarrassment back in the day. Like an Olympic wrestler that wrestled in pro wrestling was kind of like, And we should talk about too. It's a tough transition from amateur to pro wrestling. That is not just, you're an amateur wrestler, so you'd be a good pro wrestler. It's actually sometimes that's a huge hindrance to these guys if they're really good amateur wrestlers because the training Kurt's been wrestling since he was 7, so the training since he was 7 is to never give your body. Always give resistance, and if you are giving your body, you're doing it to trick someone in, to pull him something in, to sucker him into something. You're never giving anything away. Everything is resistance and
it's
pulling
like
and gripping.
Playing for the Tar Heels and planning to be in the NBA, and then you don't get drafted and you go play with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Exactly, and you're putting the ball under your jersey and you're fucking,
running around.
A bucket of confetti at people and shit. Like, that's exactly what it's like. So it's not the same. So a lot of amateurs have a problem with that, and they're not good wrestlers. They're just not. I mean... when they get in there, they look like they know what they're doing, but they're not. They just don't know how to do it right. And like they might look okay, but all the other wrestlers will be like, Jesus Christ, it's like wrestling a fucking couch. That guy, he just doesn't. He doesn't do the things. He doesn't give you the things. He doesn't lean the way you need him to. He doesn't give his weight the way he's supposed to. But apparently, Kurt picked it up immediately. He's just good at what he puts his mind to. Jerry Briscoe, who's worked for WWE forever, he was a member of the Briscoe brothers there. His brother Jack is one of most respected amateur and pro wrestlers of all time. Yeah, he said that Briscoe tells all the guys to show up in shape and be ready to cut promos. That's what they're interested in. Be ready to talk on the mic. They need. He says, quote, 1A is promo. He says that's all you care about.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they said anybody.
All of this work is all for naught if we don't have people in the fucking seats.
That's it. All the people they recruit now, like they're all the athleticism that's a given.
Yeah,
these are all athletes. Everybody's athletic enough to do this. That's not the point. It's, are you interesting enough for anybody to care that you're doing it? So that's the big thing, and that's another thing amateur wrestlers have a hard time with sometimes. Yeah. And if anything, they're taught to be low key and not have a personality. They're taught to shut the fuck up and run around and lose weight and all that shit. So Briscoe said, quote, That 1 minute they get that. That's all they need to know and show us they have the personality. I'm not worried about the athletic skills. The kids we've been recruiting have been athletes since they were 4 or 5 years old and in multiple sports. When I tell them to study, I tell them don't focus on the in-ring product. Focus on what these guys do with a microphone. And I think that's the main problem. If there's any problem with wrestling now, that's the issue. It's much less personality based, and it's much more
flair.
It's much more look at how amazing these athletic things are in the ring, and the guys who can talk still aren't allowed to say what they want because it's all written by writers, so everybody sounds the same. Right. So everybody sounds like they're doing these soap opera monologues, and it's stupid. Yeah. Let a fucking guy talk. Let a girl talk. Let these people have personalities. You know what I mean? Let them, if they don't have a personality, then shit can them. Yeah. Then start writing for them. But you never know. They might have a personality. And when they let Steve Austin talk, fucking Stone Cold came out. Right. Before that, he never really was allowed to talk. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, hey, look at this. Holy shit. He sells $1 trillion in merchandise. Right. That's what happens.
He swears like a Southern guy.
That's great. Yeah, holy shit.
He relates.
Yeah, people like him. He's drinking beer.
Look at this.
So Kurt said, quote, when I started training, I took the approach of being really passive because I didn't want to hurt anybody. It's the other thing. He's in shape to murder, and these guys are in shape to perform. It's a different type of shape. He said, I made it to a point to never get flustered. When I got confused, or you don't know what's going to happen next, your instinct of crushing that other guy takes over. I always allowed my opponent to do whatever he wanted to me when a spot got mixed up because I was afraid I was going to hurt someone.
That sounds so hot.
That does sound it's hot. Good job.
Do whatever they want to me.
And we're going to talk, by the way, very little wrestling, and it's going to be all crime here in a second.
Really?
Yeah. So his first WWE match was a dark match against Brian Christopher, another Crime and Sports alumnus.
How does that work?
What do you mean?
Dark match.
Dark matches are on before, like, let's say you're at a TV taping.
Oh, got it.
They're
it's
the matches
the one that doesn't matter.
But that they don't show on TV. Like, if you go to an event and you see, it's a pay-per-view and these are all the matches, and then they bring people like, who the fuck are these people? They'll have like 4 matches beforehand while the crowd's sitting just to get everybody.
I saw it like
warmed up
dark room, and everybody's got night vision.
That's what it is.
We get to watch them.
Dark match. It's much harder. If you can perform in a dark match, you can do anything. So
that's impressive.
Yeah, he wrestled at house shows and other dark matches and all this type of shit, and continued to wrestle down in Memphis. He was even the champion down in Memphis for a while there. Yeah, and then he gave that up to come up to WWE.
That's going to be on Raw, by the way, next week.
What?
A dark room.
Everybody's
got night vision goggles, and Vince McMahon's going to act like he had the idea first.
Yeah, I had the idea. He steals everything from everybody else anyway. Who fucking cares? That guy steals. Dude, half the shit on the network is stolen from kayfabe commentaries. Yeah. It literally is. Like, if you look at some of the things, they barely change the names. Like, it's like, dude, that's blatant. You just blatantly stole that from somebody who made that already. Like, they just do it and they're like, but we can put our footage in.
Right.
That's what they do. It's like, oh, okay. Fucking
but we've
Jesus.
got an audience.
Yeah. Hey, Sean Oliver just laughs at it, but Christ almighty, after a while, you gotta be like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. You could fucking throw me a couple bucks for the idea.
Right.
Fucks.
I like your giant house, you fucking jerk.
Yeah, thanks
a
lot.
I live in Florida.
Yeah, this sucks. So I don't know where Sean is, but
probably Florida.
Maybe Florida or New York, one of the two.
Yeah.
So everybody says Kurt learned the business as fast as anybody. Triple H said, who was in charge of everything now, basically, he said that Angle, quote, probably the fastest guy I've ever seen pick this business up. Phenomenal athleticism and an aptitude for the industry. I think The Rock might have been a little faster, but The Rock he's like the 14th generation. Yeah. Like, everyone in his family's a wrestler, his grandparents, and like everybody's a wrestler. He's from that Samoan.
He's got such longevity
bloodline.
Too.
Yeah, it's a different thing. But 2000, he wins the Best Gimmick and Most Improved award from the Wrestling Observer.
Really?
Yeah, which is that's Dave Meltzer's magazine. It's kind of like the standard of like the wrestling media, quote unquote, whatever. So basically, he comes out, they kind of give him the same thing as like The Rock did, basically, like where he comes out as an ultra good guy, which makes everybody hate him because it's the late 90s, so you can't come out and be, I'm Mr. Patriotic, and say your prayers and eat your vitamins, Hulk Hogan style. He had the 3 I's: intensity, integrity, and intelligence, which is just like the demandments of Hulk Hogan. It's the same shit basically they tried to make, and the crowd was like, "Fuck you, fuck you." He'd come out with his gold medals on, and his he's got like the singlet with the American flag kind of shit on it. So people were like, "Get the fuck out of here." So they knew that was going to happen. They made him a bad guy out of that. So then he was kind of a good bad guy actually, because he's this. He can be this like arrogant prick. I'm an Olympic champion and all that shit. So it's kind of good.
That is America today.
Yeah. Fighting and booing. And
just being an asshole and doing it with the flag on my chest.
And it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's just everybody.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from Law and Crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them, or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Everybody. So he feuds with Brock Lesnar, who you know of, and Eddie Guerrero. Him and Brock Lesnar have these crazy matches. I want to say they had I don't remember this specifically, and I didn't concentrate on this, but I want to say they had a series of hour-long matches that they were doing that were like basically amateur style almost. Really? Very weird. Both those guys are real competitive, so I assume they just beat the living shit out of each other.
An entire hour of that shit?
Yeah, which sounds boring as balls.
It does.
I guess if you're real into technical stuff, I don't know. So he also has a feud with Eddie Guerrero, who's a lot of fun. 2002, Wrestling Observer names him Best Interviews and Best Technical Awards. Also, Match of the Year for teaming with Chris Benoit, who we know of.
All right.
Obviously.
A very bad man.
Versus Rey Mysterio and Edge. He also wins Wrestler of the Year, and he's also Reader's Favorite Wrestler 2002-2003. So Kurt, in 4 years went from, I don't know if I'm going to try this out, to as good as anybody there is right away. So not too fucking bad. Grace. Yeah. This is Grace.
And keep in mind, his neck is still fucked.
Oh, his neck is never going to be good.
It's shredded.
And he'll hurt it worse and again as he gets older. The neck's not going to heal up better. Now, May of 2003, there's a woman named Deanne Seiden. She's from Inkster, Michigan.
Yeah.
You said that like you knew. Like, yeah, I know her.
Yeah.
Total bitch. I know her.
Inkster, Michigan. I'm already depressed.
She stabbed my sister, dude. I don't like her. She apparently was harassing Kurt Angle as he traveled all over the country. She was like following him.
Like a stalker?
A police captain here said, quote, she would follow him around from venue to venue and telephone his hotel, telephone his home, cancel his airline reservations.
No, bitch.
Threaten his family and threaten his children.
That's horrible.
It got very, very serious. I would say,
you know what? There is not equality, because if that's a man, he's in jail.
Oh, so is she.
Oh,
that's,
is she?
That's
okay.
why it's a police captain explaining.
Okay.
She goes to jail too.
Good.
No. If you do this of any gender, you're going to fucking jail. I feel like.
Man.
I mean, obviously, you look at it, and I saw a picture of her. She's not physically threatening to Kurt Angle, but if she has a weapon, she would be.
Anybody's physically threatening with a
if
gun.
They have a gun or a knife, or you don't know, or if she goes after his kids.
Right.
This is crazy shit. You can't have people threatening your family.
No.
So apparently she's 34 years old, this woman. She followed him to an event in Baltimore. She followed him through an airport in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Tracked his wife, Karen, down in Little Rock, Arkansas, and was following her around. They said that the police report said that she left numerous phone messages on victim's answering machine stating that she was having Kurt's baby and that he needed to take responsibility for their child. So she was calling him at home to tell his wife that
old chestnut.
Yeah, and meanwhile, he's never met her other than she's been stalking him. Wow, no relationship at all. He's never had contact with her. He does not know her at all.
He is unbelievable sperm.
But it's wild. It's really strong.
From Arkansas to Michigan.
It's strong.
Yeah.
It travels. Travels well.
It's a hell of a shot.
That's some... It's like pneumatic. He's got some pump behind it.
Well, he knows geography. See, that's very instrumental.
Sent it right there. Good point. Good point. I didn't realize the geography connection. He knows where to send it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's the difference. So Pittsburgh police arrested her in November. She had been arrested before this for using a false identification. She was apparently out of jail by the time they found her on the stalking charges. It's fucking crazy.
If she could channel her rage the way he does, she'd be a CEO. That takes so much time and dedication to do all of that.
That's
shit.
what I mean.
Why don't you just fucking have a job, lady?
That's what I'm saying. What is
Jesus
this?
Christ.
She could have had some going on like eBay or
she
something.
She could have had an amazing man with that kind of dedication
or
to
an
something.
Etsy business, something. Get your shit together.
In love with a man she doesn't know.
So Karen Angle is Kurt's wife. She's pregnant at the time too. Jesus. And Karen says, quote, "It's very scary to be told I wasn't going to make it through my pregnancy. I was afraid to go to the grocery store. I went in to have my baby and she was here in Pittsburgh." So this is frightening. So then she's arrested again in Michigan, and she's in Detroit jail she's going to get extradited to Pittsburgh here, which should take a couple months. The police officer said the young man has been terrorized. His wife has been terrorized. They have been very afraid of this woman. Their life has really not been the same since this happened. This woman's aunt, Seiden's aunt, says that the Angles have harassed her with threatening phone calls. They don't know her. Right. They're like, I don't know her. Why would I threaten and harass somebody I don't fucking know? And Kurt Angle said, quote, "This girl has been stalking and harassing me for over a year, terrorizing my whole family. I'm completely relieved she's in jail now. I want this to be over with."
My God.
Jesus, that sucks, man. Yeah. That's bad. That sucks, but not as bad as this.
Oh.
There's a rough patch here. September 15th, 2003, his sister Leanne dies.
Oh, no.
I believe she's 41 years old when she dies.
Shit.
She is a heroin addict and apparently dies of a heart attack, but it has something to do with...
Sure.
She, Kurt, we'll get into heart angina, heart charities for heart disease. He's very much an active thing and participant in charity for heart disease, because apparently he said everyone in his family has heart disease and his grandfathers have all had heart attacks, and big deal. So
it's Western Pennsylvania
it's the
food too,
it's an interesting
lifestyle.
You're right. When we went to Pittsburgh last year, we got to the hotel, we went down to the hotel restaurant, which was like a hockey bar, which is an odd hotel restaurant, but a cool one. It wasn't like, oh, weird. It was like, oh, cool. It's all brick and shit. It was cool in there, and it wasn't like, new, and it looked like it'd been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
It was great. They had these fucking pretzels that were amazing. I'm dipping them in cheese sauce, and they come out with these wings that were an amazing whiskey barbecue.
Yeah.
It was fucking delicious and awful for you. And if I ate like that every day, I would have a heart attack
at
41. 41. Yeah, not good. So apparently Kurt was devastated by this, his sister dying, obviously, and he doesn't really talk about it for a long time either. It's 10 years go by before he even publicly says anything about it. He says that he just went out and put everything into work, basically, and tried not to think about it. He wrestled a scheduled 1-hour match with Brock Lesnar the day after she died.
Jeez.
That was one of those matches, and it was a really good match, apparently, by all wrestling media standards, everybody says it's a great match. And he says, Angles later on will say, now that I think about it, probably not the best grieving mechanism.
No, it's
not really getting through it. He said, but he had to do it. He said, I didn't deal with her death. I went out there and had one of the best matches of my life and hid the pain. So that's what people do. There's an interesting thing here. This is kind of one of the last wrestling things. In November of 2004, an episode of SmackDown, there's a segment of remember the show Tough Enough? Where it was on MTV for a while. You have to remember it. That's where John Cena came from, I think. They'd bring in a bunch of people who wanted to be wrestlers, and they'd have it was a reality show of them in a house surviving, and whoever wins gets a contract. That was the whole thing. And, they have a bunch of wrestlers they found through that. And anyway, in the end, Angle challenges the finalists to do a squat thrust competition. Okay. And whoever wins, the prize is to have a match with Kurt Angle right now. Okay. So this kid won, Chris Naraki. I think he's the guy who does all the brain shit now, all the head trauma shit.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. I'm 99% positive he's the guy who's like one of the main
spearheading it.
One of the main CTEs. That's a bad way to put it.
Yeah.
For CTE, but he's one of the main.
Sorry.
CTE
holy shit.
People that have been going since he was one of the first and really the loudest. So this guy, because he had a bunch of concussions. And that's why he stopped.
Okay, so he's blaming it on that.
And, he had a bunch of concussions.
Okay.
So apparently, so he gets to fight Angle. Angle takes him down and puts him in a guillotine choke and all this shit. And Chris there gets to the ropes and has to break the hold, and then Angle then takes him down with a leg takedown and all this type of shit. Anyway, he breaks this kid's ribs.
Jesus.
Kurt Angle breaks this kid's ribs. He's going a little intense, and this kid is not a lot of people are built and have the same force as Kurt Angle.
And the resilience to be able to take it.
Brock Lesnar is one of the only people that he could really have things like that with. Nobody else can do it like him. They're just not trained for it. So he then challenges the other finalists. A kid named Daniel Puder comes up, and he's in there. He comes up and challenges him, and he does MMA and shit on the side, this kid. So they wrestled a little bit. Now, Kurt, by the way, is hurt. He's hurt. That's why he's doing this, and he's not really... He's got injuries, and he also just wrestled this other kid like 5 seconds ago. So this kid jumps in, and they start wrestling around, and this kid puts him in a fucking hold that Kurt can't get out of.
Oh?
And he's kind of fucked here. So what he does is it's a Kimura lock.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
So it's an MMA thing.
Yes.
Yep.
So Puder is on his back, and Angle's arm is locked in it. So Angle pushes him down with his arm, so his shoulders go down quick, and the ref counts a quick 3, even though the kid pops up. He's just like, hey, you beat him. And it pops him up, and, hey, there we go, bout's over, and all this type of shit. And Puder said that he would have snapped his arm if he didn't end the match. He was like, I could have snapped his fucking arm. And this is what Dave Meltzer says about it. He's the Wrestling Observer guy. He says, quote, it was real. If you don't, and he does all the behind the scenes shit. They all give him information. Sure. He says, it was real. If you don't follow fighting, Puder had Angle locked in the Kimura, or key lock, as Taz called it, although Taz didn't let on that the move was fully executed. Not only was because he was the announcer, not only was Angle not getting out of the move, but most MMA fighters would have tapped already. Angle couldn't tap for obvious reasons. He couldn't let some student fucking beat him. He's like the top star. The ref counted to 3, even though Puder's shoulders weren't fully down, trying to end the thing, because the reality was Angle would have been in surgery if it had gone a few seconds longer, or Puder had not given up the hold. So, yeah.
That's when you got your legs wrapped around him and you're pulling the arm back.
I've seen that. Yeah, that's a crazy move.
It will snap your arm.
It's impressive that Kurt could put him on his back even to get a 2 count for that. That's like strength there. Another guy here says, quote, as you would expect, Kurt Angle was less than happy backstage at SmackDown after almost being forced to tap out to Tough Enough contestant Daniel Puder. Downright ticked off would probably be the best way to describe his mood. The unscripted nature of the contest was the main reason that Angle was made to look so bad, since Puder just reacted to the situation and could have forced Angle to submit had the referees not thought quickly and counted a pin, even though there wasn't one. So, yeah. August of 2005, he is just fucking so many injuries by now. He's broken down. He's got neck, and when your neck's fucked up, it makes everything else fucked up.
It doesn't regenerate, man.
No.
Your neck, when it's fucked, it's fucked.
It's fucked, man.
I'm a mess.
Tell me about it.
I've got 2 discs that are collapsed, and my hands go numb for 3 months of the year.
Dude, you know me on the road, man. I'm a fucking...
You twist one way, and it's over for 3 months.
Yeah, I'm a fucking disaster. I live on Advil for months, like an unhealthy amount of ibuprofen. You're not supposed to have 15 a day. And there's days on the road where I'm like, well, it's either that or not do the show.
Or I hurt.
That's it. So I got to be able to move. So I guess I get it, even though no one's tackling me. I just have to sit in a chair.
Yeah, nobody's putting me in a Kimura.
Yeah, I still got to get on a plane, though, which sucks.
True.
So anyway, he's... it's at this point WWE suspends him after he fails a drug test for this is when they still had the wellness policy for steroids and shit.
Oh, really?
I don't know if this was for steroids or whatever it was. They won't say what he was on, painkillers or whatever, but I assume most of the guys were on painkillers back then.
Probably pretty heavy.
Yeah. So anyway, August 2006, it's August 13th. He's against Rob Van Dam, who is...
He's related.
Amazing fucking athlete.
Is he related?
Related to
the other one, Claude, Jean-Claude?
No, that's why he uses that nickname, because he does like crazy moves like that. He does splits and shit. Dude's
related to who? How dare you ask me that?
Van Dam. I thought you meant related to Kurt Angle. I was like, huh? I slept for an hour and a half.
I got it.
I'm like, I don't know. No, I don't think. Why would he be related to Kurt Angle? That's weird. He's got a cousin. I think I would have told you that. I'm the idiot there. That's not on you.
It's a nickname, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah. That's not his. He's got some long, like Polish name. I can't remember what it is, but he uses that because that's how he fights. Incredible to watch. Dude's amazing. He fucking does shit that nobody else does. It's crazy shit. So anyway, or back then he did anyway. So this was in White Plains, New York at an ECW show, who WWE had bought by then and was putting on ECW shows. So apparently during this match, he pulled a groin muscle, which happens. So he works through that. Then later on in the match, he detached an abdominal muscle from the pelvic bone.
Oh,
that probably hurts a little more. And so now he's a little fucked up, and he said the crowd was into the match, so he didn't want to end it early, so he kept going.
Yeah.
Finally, then he blew out his hamstring because you have all these injuries and you're nursing things. It's not good. So that's a fucking problem. And finished the match.
Really?
It turned out to be a good match. And he says, while he was on the mat later on, he'll say, "I knew that was my last match for WWE."
Yeah, all your muscles are off your skeleton.
Well, there's other problems with there. Basically, he's all fucked up. He's bruised to shit. He says that he gets a call on August 15th from an agent from the WWE telling him that he needs to be ready for another match. And he told them no. He said, "I'm fucked up and I'm hurt and I'm not doing it." And so apparently after that, he said that, he couldn't go out and do anything with this hurt. He's like, "I can go out there, but I'm going to look like shit, and that's not going to work here." He said that at the time, he said, quote, "And I'm never going near those things again. I have too much at stake," talking about painkillers. My wife, my children, my family, myself. This is when his painkiller problem really becomes an issue. Because with his neck issue, and he hurt himself, he started having painkiller issues. Now it's becoming like
he needs it.
It's
not even just for pain anymore. It's his body requires it, right?
Yeah. So he, August 15th, after that match, he talks to Vince McMahon, and during the meeting, he said that basically Vince was treating him like he was garbage, and he didn't understand that. And this is what Vince does to people. He takes people in who are needy people and gives them like a father figure when he wants them, and then gets rid of them when he doesn't, and these people are all destroyed emotionally because they don't understand. They thought they were, best friends with this guy when, you're a piece of meat to him. That's why you weren't even an employee. Never mind a family member. You're not even an employee. That's what I mean. When he tells these guys, this is the family, WWE family. I'm not even a fucking employee. Never mind a family member.
I don't even have health care, you fucker.
You'd give your kid more than a 1099, I think, wouldn't you fucking asshole? So... yeah, Angle said that he wanted to perform at WrestleMania, this was before, with a broken neck back in the day there. Vince tried to tell him not to, but he said that he told him he could because Angle insisted, which right away you say, no, you're not wrestling with a broken neck. I'm not going to let you get hurt more. He said that he told Angle that he loved him. He said, and that was a big deal for him. The neck, though, was what the painkiller problem really kind of had on, and he wanted to cling to his spot because in WWE, if you're hurt for a while and you go away, well, somebody else takes your spot. And when you come back, maybe you're down here now, and now you got to get back to it. So all these guys are paranoid to take any time off because their spot will be gone when they get back. It's a really fucking horrible way to live.
I can't imagine.
It's awful. Now, he says this about basically Vince McMahon was ready to fight him at one point.
Oh.
This was during 2006. Vince McMahon will get his ass kicked. I'll give him that. When he fucked Bret Hart over, he went in the locker room and he knew he was going to beat him up, and he said, I'm going in there to take my shot. He said, I owe him that. I mean, I lied to him. He was going to want to hit me. Let him hit me. He said, let him take a shot at me. He told everybody, don't get in his way. Fucking knocked his ass out. And he was like, all right, well, I earned that.
Yeah.
So he'll take his lumps.
I'm still a billionaire.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like he'll do it if he has to. That's So Kurt says, quote, I decided I wanted to quit, and my manager and we went to WWE headquarters in 2006. What happened was I injured myself really badly. My hamstring, my groin, there was blood all over, across my genitals, my hamstring, both legs, running down both legs on the inside like bruising. Like it was always bleeding.
Internal bleeding.
Yeah.
God, I was like, how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, I've got blood on my dick now. It's weird.
I pulled my groin. My balls are soaked.
Fucked up. He said it was really bad. I showed it to Vince when we had a meeting, and I said, we need to talk, Vince, because I'm really not doing very well. He says, quote, so he pulls out about 5 typed pages of text messages and phone calls I left him, and I'm reading, and I'm like, it says, quote, Vince, I'm going to beat the shit out of you when I see you. Vince, you better answer the call or I'm going to kick your fucking ass. Really, really crazy stuff. At the time, unfortunately, I was apparently taking a lot of painkillers. I was taking somas. Every once in a while, I would black out and I'd be texting Vince.
Holy shit.
So he'd be texting his voice by his boss. I'm going to fucking kick your ass. I'm going to do all this shit. Like, yeah. So,
you're not doing very well here. Read this.
Yeah, I know you're not doing well. Look.
Wow.
That's what he did. He said, so he showed me all of this, and I'm like, oh my God, I actually said this stuff? And he stood up and he took his jacket off and he says, you want to kick my ass? Let's go right now. Which obviously that wouldn't last very long, a 2-second fight there. And I looked at him and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe Vince McMahon wants to beat my ass. This guy's been my father figure for 7 years. I have too much respect for him to stand up. Also, I'm in a lot of pain.
I can't stand up.
So I'm gonna, yeah. But he wanted to go. And I left the room and I came back in and I just broke down and I said, Vince, I can't do this anymore. I need you to release me. And he did. And sometimes I look back and I wish he didn't, but it had to be done for me to save my life. And I know I wasn't representing WWE the way Vince needed me to. But he said that Vince was, his remarks were kind of nasty and he didn't like it. He said, I love Vince. He's a great guy, but he treated me like a superhero. He wanted me to rehab on the road instead of at home. My doctor said I couldn't do that. Yeah, you can't do that while you're traveling. Vince said that I was an Olympic gold medalist and I could overcome anything. Then one day, my Olympic gold medal didn't mean anything to him. So that was it. Once he decided he wasn't as marketable. So he leaves and he goes to TNA, which is the half-assed other brand there.
With a chick now, right? In charge of it?
It's always been in charge of it.
Really?
Well, not always. Jeff Jarrett started, but then once was it Panda Energy bought it, it's her dad's company, so then she's in charge. That's how that works. I want to buy me wrestling.
Right.
Okay. So, I mean,
I want it now.
Yeah, she tries. I give her, and I'm not saying it's because she's a woman, because Stephanie McMahon runs the fuck out of WWE. That's not the problem. It's not that at all. It's that she didn't know shit about wrestling. That's the problem.
That's a big problem.
It's just Stephanie McMahon was born into this. She's like she's like fucking John Gotti or something, like, mob since childhood.
Is she like 45, somewhere in there?
Yeah, she's a little older than us.
Right, but she like grew up with it all in her life every day.
Oh,
she knows, she's very well immersed in it.
You look in the 80s, there's spots, she's all over the place. You can see her, Stephanie McMahon, and Shane too. They're always hanging around there.
She was hot.
So he says he leaves WWE. He says that he chose TNA. He chose TNA over staying with WWE and going to rehab. He needed to go to rehab to stay in WWE because his pill problem was bad and he was threatening to kick Vince McMahon's ass and everything else. He says, quote, in 2006, when I quit or when I asked for a release, Vince wanted me to go to rehab. He said, I want you to go for a couple months and come back in 6 months and we'll start your contract back up. So I said, no, I didn't want to do that. So I decided I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to TNA. I had the option to stay in WWE and go to rehab or leave and go to TNA, and I don't regret it. I loved my career in TNA. I loved Dixie Carter. She was incredibly good to me. But what sucks is my best phase of my career was in TNA. As good as I was in WWE, and I was the best there, and I was the best there. I got better in TNA, and unfortunately, the WWE fans will never see those matches. So, yeah. He says later on that he felt guilty about being a liability to Vince McMahon as well, and that sort of shit. Everybody said once he got to TNA, all he talked about was Vince McMahon all the time.
Jesus.
Everything like that. Well, Vince does it like this. And they're like, oh, great.
Calm down. What are you, a chick from Michigan?
Yeah, come on. Jesus.
Stop stalking him.
Get off his dick, dude. So he says at this point that his wife got him off drugs. She helped him the most. Yeah. He says, quote, I was a junkie. And he was hooked on painkillers. He said he was taking Percocet, Vicodin, Norco, Lorcet. Yeah. He was popping as many as 65 pills a day.
Those are the good ones.
Oh, boy. He said, quote, it tore my soul apart. I missed the first 2 years of my daughter's life. He said, painkillers are like heroin. They are. More than very
exactly.
much. Exactly.
They are equal to.
You nailed it. Same thing. He said, when you get caught up in it, you start taking 10 or 20. I was up to 65 a day. I had to take 18 to get out of bed.
Wow.
Jesus. I went to the pharmacy every other day. I found a way to get 10 different doctors to get my prescriptions. It worked out perfectly. Every other day I got 120 pills. My first priority was to get to the pharmacy.
Holy shit,
Oh
James.
my God.
At that point, your life is just revolving around getting it.
That is wild. And for him, he just has to go to the pharmacy.
120 of them every 2 days.
That's it.
Who are you, Rush Limbaugh?
Yeah. Who do you think you are? A fat blowhard? Come on. You're an athlete, sir. He says, call it stupidity or call it bravery. I'm not going to rob the fans. People expect to see Kurt Angle, and they don't expect to see me take it easy. I treat professional wrestling the same way as the Olympics. I don't know any other way. And so he just kept taking pills and doing it. He said that he credits his wife with saving his life. He said, there's no doubt in my mind that she's the reason I'm still alive. She was trying to teach me things and get me help, and I wouldn't listen. He said that his relationship is very good now. His wife says, quote, all the rumors were untrue. I heard that I was getting a divorce. Oh, he said this. I heard that I was getting a divorce because I beat her, or that she was cheating on me. Everything. It was ridiculous. We're fine. And then he says, quote, I'm fine. I know a lot of people in Pittsburgh were worried. They thought Kurt Angle was not going to make it. I'm not going anywhere. So, after this is when he starts a new cocktail of drugs.
What is it?
It is, he gets off of that cocktail and starts a new one of morphine, Xanax, and booze.
That's a little step up.
That is different.
My God.
Wow.
That's getting the most strong painkiller and then emphasizing it.
Yeah, kicking it up a notch. And then
chilling myself out with that Xanax.
That's
depressive. A nice Friday night.
That's oh boy. If your heart doesn't stop, that's wild. Jesus
Morphine.
Christ. Morphine.
Holy.
So he makes his debut with TNA in September of 2006. That is the moment of the year for TNA at the end of the year, they say.
A morphined up Kurt Angle.
There he is. Hi, guys. So March 2007, a steroid scandal breaks, and he's right in the middle of it. Of course. It is basically the DEA raid. It's a code name, Operation Netroids. Okay. They converged on Applied Pharmacy Services, which was a compounding pharmacy. That's one that makes its own drugs generically, one of those.
They make the compound creams and all that shit.
Yeah, just generic shit.
Right.
They seized client records, revealed the names of more than 20 athletes in a variety of sports who received drugs from the pharmacy, and these are all illegal steroids and performance enhancing. Right. Gary Matthews Jr., the outfielder, Kurt Angle, is on this list, of course. He received, what does it say here? Received 2 prescriptions for Trenbolone and one for, Nandrolone.
Yep.
Jesus.
If it's got dro in it,
that's testosterone, I guess. I don't know. So this was October 2004, February 2005. Also on this list, Jose Canseco, John Rocker. It's a who's who of assholes here. This is wonderful. Christ.
And you know it's real when Jose's name's on it.
You know it's real. He'll tell you about it. Oh, yeah, I went there. That guy was all right.
They were fine.
It was good, but I prefer this other place. This guy, let me tell you. David Bell, Jerry Hairston Jr.,
Really?
Yeah, all these big major league players.
Oh my God, I met Jerry.
Yeah, you met him.
He was in. He came to a club show.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was that makes sense. When I told him that we do a show called Crime and Sports, he goes, "What's it about?" And I was like, all the fucking roid freaks, and his eyes just like got big. He's like, "Yeah, I'll check that out."
Hey, those allow me to hit 14 home runs a year instead of fucking 3. So chill out, man.
Oh, poor Jerry.
Oh my God.
I had no idea.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. So he said that he needed steroids. This is Kurt later on, said he needed steroids to recover from his broken neck, and he wanted to get them legally, but his doctor wouldn't let him. Mm-hmm. So he went online illegally and bought them for cheaper so he could, that's what he tells about the doctor, so he could make money off of me. The doctor robbed me is what happened. Basically, according to this whole thing, how does this work here? He says that the drugs that he received were they said that it's a hormone administered to beef cattle, the trenbolone.
They're shooting up fucking
it's beef cattle.
Steroids.
Yeah, that's what they gave him.
Good Lord.
Beef cattle steroids. They said that the drug is many times stronger than testosterone and illegal for human use. So
it's not even for people.
No.
Jesus Christ.
No, they got him bull steroids. Like, that's crazy. That's what the doctor said. That's why he said the doctor ripped him off. He's probably got, I'm sure they worked, but.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
He's mooing around. That's a little weird. It's a promo, and they're like, his new catchphrase is moo.
What are you chewing, sir?
It's very, cud. Really? Okay. Kurt needs to be milked, and he'll be at the ring very shortly. His udders are heavy, and we can't send him out there like that. What the fuck is happening?
In between takes, he goes out and trims the lawn with his mouth.
It's wild. I don't get it. It's what he likes.
He said, "I'm grazing."
That's it. So, October 3rd, 2007, police get a phone call saying that there's a vehicle that left a bar restaurant in Moon Township, which is Pennsylvania, and it was a Cadillac Escalade, a white one, and it's Kurt Angle driving.
Of course.
A woman called to say that he almost hit her and in his car and seemed intoxicated. So the police went to his house, and he still smelled like alcohol. They said he showed signs of intoxication, and they explained that someone had reported his erratic driving. They gave him a field sobriety test, which he failed. And, his lawyer, though, he's got the silverest of silver-haired middle-aged white men. They are fucking intensely aggressive about little things. His lawyer here says, quote, Kurt has no knowledge of this happening. He doesn't know anybody that was there, and he didn't even know anything had occurred until police came knocking at his door an hour later asking to interview him. And the lawyer also says about the field sobriety test, we respectfully disagree with the police's opinion that he failed.
Wait, what?
In fact, we have independent witnesses that said Kurt did very well on the test. What?
Yeah.
Independent. We have things that can't be independent witnesses, quote unquote, that said he did, quote, very well. That's not it's a pass fail.
The independent witnesses said they've never seen anyone do this well.
It's unheard of. It was the best they've ever seen. It's the best sobriety test anyone's ever taken. Ever. It was wild. He was hopping on one foot while touching his finger to both noses and singing Hava Nagila backwards. So, during this, Angle was allowed to call his agent, and which is odd, and he was advised not to submit to a blood test by his agent. So, the lawyer says the police had no firsthand knowledge of him operating the vehicle, and they didn't have evidence of him operating the vehicle while intoxicated. That's the thing. They don't know he was behind the wheel. Yeah. Anybody could have been behind the wheel. They don't know if he could have got home and fucking drank a half a bottle of whiskey in the time that elapsed. You can't get a guy 2 hours later at home and say he's drunk when you don't even know he was driving. Yeah. Sorry, you missed the boat on that one.
You blew it. I beat you.
That's all.
I win.
That's it. So the lawyer said that their whole his failed sobriety test is going to be their whole case because they don't have anything else. So they have to tell him he failed. So 2008 in September, he goes to DUI court for DUI and careless driving. His attorney said that it was unlike any case he'd ever been involved in. Yeah. It's one for the ages. It's DUI.
It's just because they don't have him behind the wheel at the time. That's why he's saying that, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
So, also they said because he was allowed to call his agent and then he didn't submit to a blood test, which I would have not advised him to not submit to a blood test because then they automatically suspend your license, which is what happens to Kurt here.
Of course.
So the verdict comes in not guilty.
Really?
It should be not. How the fuck would you say he's like I just said? There's reasonable
Pretty
doubt all over this
yeah.
shit. I mean, I could have been the lawyer and went, how long does it take to get drunk?
Mm-hmm.
Like longer than the fucking 20 minutes? Well, then, he could have drank a shitload. That wasn't him in the car.
Right.
I'll give you 20 excuses right now that'll give you a reasonable
Prove
doubt
to me that he was in the car, and we'll
Number one.
and we'll have a conversation.
Then we'll talk about whether he was drunk in the car and how you're going to prove that rather than when he was home. So it's just silly. He probably was drunk and missed somebody, but you can't prove that shit. So, they cleared him of all charges except his license is suspended for refusing the
and
test.
That's what happens when you listen to your fucking agent and not your lawyer.
Exactly.
Hey,
don't take a blood test. His agent will be like, that'd be bad. His agent goes, for me, I'll have to explain why your blood alcohol level's too high. So don't take that test. That's bad for me, but he didn't care about
the lawyer would be like, fucking give them whatever they want. They can't prove shit.
Let's say you have to give them that. That's the law. Otherwise, your license is suspended. Other shit we'll talk about. So 2008, finally, later in 2008, after this, he and his wife, Karen, get divorced.
Oh, no.
So that's over with. And, the problem is why they got divorced or who she ended up with after they got divorced. Because he brought his wife into the business with him.
Really?
She was on TV and shit in TNA.
Really?
So, yeah. Oh, by the way, he had his brother working TV for WWE in like 2003 too, which was weird. But
on set?
He was working as a wrestler.
Oh,
wow. Kind of like his...
I remember that.
Yeah, like a doppelganger type of thing.
Name?
We'll find out later
Angle?
because I think his is Eric. I think it's either Eric or David. Those are the two that have problems later. So we'll talk about them. So they finalize their divorce, and the problem is she ends up with Jeff Jarrett, who's the co-owner of TNA. So essentially, Jeff Jarrett stole the wife of his employee, which is really not cool.
Unethical.
Super uncool shit to do. I mean, that's
gross.
Really, really fucking bad.
Can you imagine?
That's wild.
Showing up to your job and your boss has your fucking wife.
If I'm not mistaken, Jeff Jarrett's wife, or first wife, died of cancer. I want to say.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like
too.
at 30, or some really young age.
Fuck.
So don't quote me on, but I'm 90% sure that his first wife died of cancer. So if he finds somebody he likes, maybe he just had to latch on to it.
Just let him be.
And all bets are off at that point. So anyway, so they continued to work all together for years, which is awkward. And it happens. Steve Austin, Chris Adams, that was the same thing. That was student teacher.
Yeah.
That was the same thing. They had the same woman. It's a weird thing. So late March 2009, he goes on Howard Stern here. And he goes on there. He's been divorced for 2 months. It's to talk about his divorce. And he says to Howard Stern, quote, I got her in the business. That's what went wrong in the marriage. Because he said, what went wrong? He said, I got her in the business. That's what went wrong. He said that, she began working for the company. He says, quote, I don't know who, but I believe she met somebody else and she asked me for a divorce. Whoever it is, if she's with somebody, they're keeping it quiet. But I think that was just a wrestling angle because pretty sure that he knew they all worked together. I'm pretty sure he knew it was going on.
I heard this interview because I listened to every single one of them back then, and I would like to know what the fuck was he promoting when he was on there?
An angle between him and Jeff Jarrett, probably.
Really?
Or something like
some
that.
show?
Just whatever, general. And this happened too with Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan. Chris Benoit stole the woman he eventually killed. So there you go.
I mean, I wonder what he was on Howard's show for to promote.
So to promote?
Maybe this book.
Maybe, yeah.
I'll bet it was.
That's true. He says, quote, I'm always on the road. I'm proud of wrestling for TNA. We've done a lot in the last 2.5 years since I've been there. I was getting tired. I'd go to bed at 10:30, 11 at night, and she didn't want to stay in the hotel room. She'd go down to the bar, but she'd come back at 7 in the morning. And I'd be like, the bar closes at 2. What are you doing the last 5 hours?
That's a good point.
She'd say she was hanging out in the lobby with her friends.
No.
So I knew something was going on. Yeah.
That's a terrible excuse.
That's a terrible excuse
Think
for
of
anybody in
something
the
better
room.
than that.
Just hang out in the lobby.
What do you say?
Yeah,
Between 2 and 7?
Come on.
Any answer you give is the wrong answer.
Bad stuff there. Yeah, everything's bad. So he said that he also had cheated on his wife a couple of times and all that. So he was like, I guess it is what it is.
It's all in the game, baby.
It's all in the game, baby. So he says that he started dating a female wrestler for TNA, known as Raka Khan, her name was. Yeah.
Okay.
So they asked him if he, does your ex-wife hit you with a lot of child support and all that kind of shit? Because that's the type of shit Howard wants to know.
Yeah.
And he said, quote, she's a millionaire. She gets paid well. She's a good mother. I don't mind as long as she spends it on my kids.
Yeah.
So he wasn't mad at that. They talk about drugs, and he talked about all of that. He said that, he said he was taking shit like Percocet, 55, do the 65 pills a day and all that shit. He talks about how the whole thing I talked about, how he, rather than go to rehab, he went to TNA, and he said that he has made up with Vince McMahon since then on a personal level. So July 2009 is when it all comes out publicly that his wife and Jeff Jarrett are together. And I think it all came out in a goddamn wrestling angle-y type of way, but they were still together. It was still true because they ended up getting married.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a joke.
Jesus.
So August 15th, 2009, Angle is in a live-in relationship with Trinisha Biggers. That's Raka Khan. That's her real name, Trinisha Biggers. They're living together. And in an affidavit of probable cause, love when we start out there, it says, quote, Angle attacked Biggers in his Moon Township home on August 6th, but she did not go to the police until 9 days later, showing them bruises and scratches she said were from the attack. So she went there. He gets arrested. Order of protection on him. He's not supposed to be around her. So later that morning, literally later that morning, like before pre-8 o'clock, we're talking in the morning, he's free on bond, and he violates his protection of order already within an hour of it being issued. This is fucking crazy. She is at a Starbucks in Robinson Town Center at 8 a.m. Okay, she said to use the internet because she was scared to use the computer at Angle's house because she knew he looks at all of her stuff. So in the complaint, she said she saw Angle circle the parking lot 3 times staring at her while she was outside.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Yeah, not good. So they say that he left the Starbucks and headed to a nearby Giant Eagle supermarket, and she left the Starbucks, I'm sorry, went to the supermarket and called 911. When police arrived, he was there, but he said he wasn't stalking her.
They got T-bones on sale.
Yeah, it's totally, I just needed to stop over here. I was thinking about Starbucks. I gave it a couple of passes. I said, that line's too long. Look at that. So they stopped him in the car, obviously, and he told police that they had an altercation last night and that she had him removed from the residence. He said, though, he didn't stalk her at all. He was just looking for a hotel since he can't go back to his house.
Yeah.
So I go to Starbucks to find hotels.
Starbucks, and then if that fails, then I go to the produce department.
Exactly. Always works. Always works. So she reports to the police also that he had taken possession. He stole her BlackBerry.
Jesus.
At the time, this is BlackBerry times.
Yeah.
Stole her BlackBerry, and she feared that he was erasing text messages and photos that showed injuries she suffered during their altercation. She had it all documented. So police end up recovering the cell phone from him. He did take it from her, which you can't fucking do. Nope. So his silver-haired middle-aged white man, Michael Santacola, who we gotta say his name if he's going to be this full of shit. He said Angle was on his way to a hotel after police removed him from his house, and Biggers just happened to be at the Starbucks at the same time. That's your excuse, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
I can't get a hotel without a fucking macchiato.
Come on, man. How do you say that shit without laughing? Honestly. Like
I just happen to be there.
See, come on, man.
Everybody goes to Starbucks. That's
the
likelihood of this is not as crazy as you think.
Come on. They all stare at people as they circle 3 times. The spokesman for TNA, silver as can be, said no comment on this one.
Yeah.
We are good on that. He's our top guy, so we're gonna back out. So now it's another protective order. He's barred from his house, and he says he never physically harmed her or did anything that would cause her to ask for police protection. Oh, by the way, the responding officer wrote in the criminal complaint also said that he found a, quote, capped syringe and 2 vials of human growth hormone inside the car he was driving as well. And he said he had a prescription for the HGH, and they filed drug possession charges and driving with a suspended license because he has no license.
That's a great point.
Refused the blood test. Yeah, so there's all of that. They arrest him. Now, the drug possession charges are later dropped because he does have a prescription for the HGH. Okay. So that's okay. He can have that shit. And but the license suspension is still an issue. He says, quote, "It was supposed to help with my overall," this is the HGH, "with my overall health and getting the strength in my neck to function. It didn't make me bigger. As a matter of fact, I only weigh 205, 210. I'm not a very big guy, not in pro wrestling. I don't use it for that." So, yeah. He is still charged with harassment and driving on a suspended license. So, still wrestling while he's out on bail, though. They don't take him off the road or anything like that because he is the TNA heavyweight champ.
Really?
So of everybody, including the female division, apparently, getting everybody. So he can't go home.
No.
Very upset. He, a few hours after returning to Pittsburgh from Orlando, where he had been with TNA here, he's on the news, WTAE Channel 4, telling Michelle Wright, the reporter, that's her name, it says here, that he can't get back into his home because the woman is still there. It's very sad. He broke into tears during the interview. He broke into I'll say it again.
Kurt.
He broke into tears during the interview. He says, quote, "I didn't do anything wrong, and I was sitting there in the Allegheny County Jail just thinking why I even started dating this girl. I can't believe she did this to me. I don't even know when I'm allowed back in my own home." He said there was no fight at all. We didn't even have an argument. He said he just doesn't understand it. He says that they've been dating for 10 months. He allowed her to stay in his house, but she started getting mail sent out there, so now he has nowhere to go because there's a PFA.
So somebody just takes over your house?
Yeah, took it over. That's how it works. If you let somebody stay, once they get mail, it's their house.
It's
That's
theirs.
it. It's just their house now. That's it. He says that she might be acting out of spite because I don't want to marry her. That's what he says. He says she asked me for an engagement ring the week before. He says that she asked him to take his car and go to the store early Saturday. Soon after that, he says the Moon police were at his door telling him to leave because he went back to the house too, which was another thing he couldn't do. He said he only had a few moments to grab some things, including his gold medal for sentimental value, as he left the house. And let's give him it in their own words because he's very sad. He's talking about his gold medal here. Let's let him mush it up a little bit. So let's give him in their own words. Quote, "She has taken over my house, everything that I own. Everything is in there. Since I was 5 years old, that's all I've ever worked for. Once I won that, I tried everything I could to do better than that. Pro wrestling, movies, but nothing will ever match that. So I guess that's why it's so special to me."
I didn't know it was so easy to take somebody's house.
I didn't know either.
I am going shopping tonight.
Yeah,
I'm just going to
knock on the door,
change my address, get all the shit sent there, and then I'm going to show up and be like, obviously, you know what's happening.
It's like the new Borat movie. He could have just taken that two guy's house if he wanted it. I live here now. That's all.
Me and the police showing up. You guys are going to have to leave. The Southwest gas bill is here.
That's it. Yeah. So, the attorney, Santacola, he's back, silver as ever. And he says that that the driver's license suspension is under appeal, and this is bullshit, and everything's crazy. He said that Angle told him that his character's been ruined, so he's planning to file a defamation lawsuit. He's doing all this shit, and he says it's just ridiculous. Kurt says, quote, "My ex-wife has supported me. She told everybody about the kind of person I really am." He's free on bail. He says, quote, "I just hope the hearing goes okay so I can get back into my house and move on with my life. That's all I want. I don't want any trouble. I just want my life back." Okay. Later that week, he has the Ultimate Teen Challenge that he has to do.
That's horrible.
It's Kurt Angle's 2009 Ultimate Teen Challenge.
Okay.
And it's at Pittsburgh's Hilton Hotel. He's going to see how many teens he can back-to-back in this fucking thing. No. It's, quote, "Calling all teen athletes, are you the most conditioned and strongest teen in the tri-state area?
See if you can keep my cock out of your ass.
Now is your time to show it. I'm going to be nude, oiled up, and ready for some fucking action. So can you get out of it?" Kurt Angle and the Q-Mite Classic. Jesus, that sounds gross. The word "come" in there. That's not good, especially with all of this. Teams of teens from the surrounding tri-state area for strength and competition. Exercises like the chin-up to bench press, blah, 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 blah. $5,000 in prize money. Holy shit. Whoop-de-doo. Dave Hawk, the challenge promoter, said, "I love the heart and determination of all the young women bring to the field for this competition.
Calm down, mister.
They are tough and just don't quit." That's what he said. Exclamation
Said
point.
that about young women.
Wow.
Jesus.
This is wild. So you're looking for ultimate teen athletes between 13 and 19.
My.
He's like, I'm looking for very athletic teens, taut, between 13 and, say, 19. This is gross.
I want every possible teen.
The events, the 45-pound water drug relay and rack.
Water drug.
Each member had to carry 6 to 12 water jugs down a 30-foot course, placing them onto a rack while another team member pulled them from the rack and took them back to the course finish line. The tire flip competition, total gym body pullover, okay, 40-yard shuttle run. And that is, yeah. So September 2009, court for his last arrest. She doesn't show up. Biggers doesn't show up for the hearing on simple assault here. Hearings rescheduled. 2009, she drops the order of protection against him. Biggers does. She dropped it at a court here, or prior to the court hearing that was supposed to take place. In its place was a civil court agreement that orders Angle and Khan to stay away from each other completely for 3 years unless wrestling schedules force them to cross each other, because she works at TNA also.
Got it.
So not for long, though, because he's the champ. So sorry, you're going to end up probably going. Angle got off basically scot-free out of all this shit here. So they said, his lawyer said, quote, "The advantage for Mr. Angle is now Mr. Biggers and Ms. Biggers is required to follow the order as well. She's not to contact him. She's not to text him. She's not to email him. I think although a settlement was reached, this was a great result. It protects Miss Biggers for a period of over 3 years." That's her lawyer saying that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, December 1st, 2009, the movie Endgame comes out.
Have I seen that?
Probably not.
No.
An officer's job turns into a personal tragedy when his family is kidnapped by the deranged killer he's investigating.
What?
Oh, my. It's a $200,000 budget.
Okay.
And it's got 1.9 out of 10 stars on IMDb.
It's a good show.
Here is a review of this film.
Yep.
0 stars, horrible is the heading. This movie is the worst movie I have seen. I know it is a low budget film, but this was horrible. I watched like 3 minutes of this movie and couldn't stand it. Fast forward, and it was still not cutting it. Waste of time and money. I even took time to write this because it was so awful. Never reviewed a movie, but had to for this one. Jesus Christ. Kurt Angle's acting is real bad. Same with the other actors. Do not watch.
Same with the other people.
Same with everyone.
Who nobody knows who they are.
Nope. Now that same year, the Wrestling Observer, publication, names him the Wrestler of the Decade.
Oh.
For the aughts, I guess.
Out of everybody.
Yeah.
That was a good time for wrestling.
It was. I can't think of anybody really who lasted the whole decade, because he came out like 2000 is when he really blew up.
Apart from The Rock and The Undertaker?
But, I mean, The Rock got out of it by then. He was
2004 he was done?
He was kind of out doing movies. I mean, Undertaker wasn't, he's kind of more of an attraction now.
Yeah.
He wasn't working like this.
Yeah, he's not, you're right.
Then he was still working, but he wasn't,
not the whole time, right?
This is different. March 25th, 2011, in North Dakota.
Oh.
Why is Kurt in North Dakota?
I'd love to know.
Who the fuck knows? He is arrested, though.
Oh, boy.
On March 25th, 2011, for actual physical control of a vehicle while intoxicated. They approached his car, which was parked in the median of the highway. Mm-hmm. So that's a sign.
Yeah.
If you see a car parked in the median, something's up.
Yep.
Either the car's fucked up or the person driving it is. One of the two.
Two are possible, and one is for sure.
Absolutely. He is given a field sobriety test and other ones here. A field sobriety test, and he fails that. He's sitting behind the wheel near on Interstate 29 for some reason.
That's
there.
The north and south.
He's charged with the DUI back in 2007. As we know, this is his second one. He ends up being sentenced for this, where this is terrible here. They end up dismissing the drunk driving charge on some technicality, but he does plead guilty to reckless driving, and they give him, you sir, may fuck off, 10-day suspended jail sentence.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
They are.
and $475 in fines.
Dead serious in North Dakota.
That's right. Oh, and he has to undergo a chemical dependency evaluation. Now, he said this was bullshit. He said it was garbage. He said that the car had slid into snow and ice, and that's what happened. And the road was completely dry. There was literally zero ice on the road, no snow. Hadn't snowed in days.
It's July.
Yeah, they were like, no, it was fucking dry out there, because that was in the report. And he was like, I slipped on the ice and ended up here, and was worried that my car was messed up.
All right.
Alrighty. So March 29, 2011, the movie River of Darkness comes out.
Oh my, he's really acting, huh?
Wait till you see. When brutal murdering starts.
What the fuck?
This is the tag. This is the synopsis here. When brutal murdering starts in a small riverside town, the sheriff must investigate and face the horrific past. Kurt plays Sheriff Will Logan.
Oh, he's the sheriff.
He's the sheriff. And Kevin Nash is also in this, the wrestler.
Yeah.
And Sid Vicious is in this as well, the wrestler. Yes. So this is chock full of wrestlers. Somehow, it's like a horror movie,
We're
too.
supposed to take this shit serious.
And somehow somebody spent $3.2 million making this.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
I wouldn't pay those guys $3.2 million to wrestle, and they're good at that. I certainly wouldn't pay them that to act, so I don't know what the fuck happened. All that to get 2.0 stars out of 10 on IMDb. Jesus Christ.
This was somebody's passion project, James.
Yeah, they were like a big wrestling fan, and they're like, two things I love. Yeah. That's filmmaking, a horror film, and wrestling.
There's three things I love. Kevin Nash and Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And also horror films. And I can't wait to mash it all together and lose my ass.
Yeah, it's not... Full disclosure, I have cast a wrestler in a movie.
Yeah?
In a much different way, though. Much different way.
You didn't have him play the lead of a slasher film?
No, I didn't. Or any of the other... No, I literally had a movie that never got made because my friend died, and he was the lead and the producer, and I didn't want to make it after that because I wrote it for him. But the movie, when we were going to produce it, this was in like 2008, as we were producing it, I got the Sandman.
Yeah.
Fucking James Fullington, the Sandman, to agree to be in the movie, and it was a perfect part. He was playing like a white trash neighbor.
Perfect.
Who's just chain smokes, and he's like, he's just like this guy who's just drinking beer. Literally himself. Yeah. And I said, you know, you're going to play yourself.
Just do it.
Good with that? Yeah. I was like, literally, we'll fuck with, like, that's how you do a wrestler.
Easiest thing you can do.
Not anything to do with...
Instead, and action. Kurt, you're now a sheriff.
Kurt, be the sheriff. No, I just had him be a white trash neighbor, and I didn't even end up happening, but that was the
Kurt,
idea.
You're
anyway.
the sheriff in charge of stopping murder.
Stopping Kevin Nash from murdering people. Okay. Sure. Why not? So this 2.10, like I said, 2 stars out of 10. Mm-hmm. User review, this film is scary for the wrong reasons. The reason being that this was made at all. If you're a wrestling fan looking for the novelty of seeing Kurt Angle, Sid Vicious, and Kevin Nash outside of the ring, please realize it's not worth it. Nash and Sid are unrecognizable and rarely out of the darkness, and Kurt's acting is so appalling you will turn away and cringe, so you won't see him much either. In fact, if you doubt that, fact check out the other movies starring Kurt. He's an unbelievable athlete, and in my opinion, the greatest all-arounder in the history of wrestling. But outside of the ring, he falls apart and cannot be taken seriously. The acting is beyond awful. The special effects are preschool, and the storyline is recycled. There's nothing good to say about this film, and I hope all involved are ashamed of themselves.
I want to see it so bad.
And 13 of 15 people found this review helpful. So that's probably the consensus.
Can we watch that and then do a bonus episode?
Yes,
on
we
it?
can. We are going to watch that movie and do a bonus episode.
I want to tear Kevin Nash apart.
Me too. I want to make fun of him because he lives here and he can find
and
us
he's
and pummel
so
us.
handsome.
He's gigantic too. He's a giant, handsome monster. He's going to kill us both.
Doesn't deserve to be in movies.
No, he doesn't. Hey, asshole! Don't you have enough? You're 7 feet tall and handsome and famous. Isn't that good now?
I saw that fucking jerk in a Blockbuster video, and I was like, that exists? What the fuck is that?
I saw him at the Outback.
Really?
What is it with running into Kevin Nash and like fucking real lower shit?
Why is he in working class businesses?
It was a Friday night at the Outback. Literally.
Can't get enough of that bloomin' onion.
He had a fucking buzzer in his hand. I'm not kidding. He got buzzed before us. He was standing outside with a buzzer. This was 1998.
Kevin Nash can't even get a table at the Outback.
This was 98, 99. He was on TV 3 times a week. He's the most hugely famous wrestler. There's
Waiting
your buzzer.
in line with a LED vibrator.
That's right. I was like, wow. That's wild, man.
What a life, Kev.
What a life you lead, Kev. I'm jealous, bro.
Also, you can't get Death Becomes Her on DVD this week. No. They're all out.
Sorry. That's hilarious. That's
fucking
unreal.
Guy.
Unreal.
Working class life.
So September 4th, 2011. This is the same year as the North Dakota incident. This is down in Virginia. He is arrested again, charged with driving under the influence. Again, here he's pulled over for swerving between lanes on the I-66.
God damn it.
I-66 lane swerving, not good. State police revealed that his initial blood test at the scene, where he was stopped by police, showed a blood alcohol concentration of 0.091, which is over the 0.08 limit there. The test was later ruled not admissible. And when a second test that was taken at the police station has to be, which is like an hour later, it's dissipated, has to become the main test, that shows an alcohol concentration of 0.06.
You lucky fuck.
You lucky motherfucker. So they dropped the DUI charge. Again, reckless driving, though, still. He does also admit to texting while driving during this thing. He's like, I'm not drunk, I'm texting.
Okay.
Like, that's not better.
It's almost way worse because you're just staring
at a phone. You're making a choice to be an idiot rather than...
You're not even looking at the road.
Yeah.
At least when you're drunk, you're like, is that the road? What
At least
is that?
if you're drunk, you can go, fuck, I was drunk. I didn't even know what I was doing. You're texting sober. That's fucking worst here. So the cops brought in a specialist for the second test, though, to make sure it was right, though, because, you know, they're, I don't know, small town cops are not good at it. So they actually bring in a specialist for this person because the first machine, I guess, is broken. So this guy's going to come in. He's going to repair the machine.
Right.
He's going to do the second one. He comes in. He arrives, and it's Paul Calhoun. Fooled you there. Shit pipe enthusiast.
Yeah.
And he says... Hey, guy, how is it you come to arrive here? I'm cleaning out the breathalyzer machine, and it's filled with shit even. You've clogged the shit pipes, and not only your life, but the plumbing, the goddamn, the friggin' breathalyzer, these fucking people, they don't know what they're doing. They're like, hey, fix this goddamn thing. It's full of shit, and Percocets are in there. I got fucking morphines and Xanaxes, and a fucking wild turkey bottle in there. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm taking these with me.
Hey, not gonna lie, took them with me. Took them with me. You never know. It's a tough job. I gotta get in crawl spaces for Christ's sake. But you fucked your whole life up. What are you doing for Christ's sake? Stop fucking up. You're a fucking Olympic hero. I'm a goddamn bum and I'm looking down on you. Doesn't that make you sad?
Yeah.
You fucking your shit pipes are clogged. That's all I'm gonna say. I gotta get at it. Poof, and a poof of shit and pipes.
I gotta get to the Outback with Kevin.
Gotta get to the Outback. He's got the buzzer. He's waiting on a table for the two of us. Gotta go now. I told him if it comes early, get an onion. By the time I get there, it'll be on the table.
I'll stop by and pick up Goodwill Hunting for us.
Stop by. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time.
Get back to your house.
Hey, all right.
How do you like them apples?
How do you like them apples? Hey. I'm having fun.
Unbelievable.
Here. So Angle, he's taken to the Warren County Jail for DUI and later posts a $2,000 bond. His attorney, a new silver-haired middle-aged white man named Frank Smith, tells TMZ that his client was asked to submit to a breathalyzer test and passed.
Okay.
Didn't bother with the first one.
Right.
He said, we understand Kurt will be entering a plea of not guilty in response to any infractions or offenses. He said the cops are just trying to make an example of him.
Or they're enforcing the law.
Or he was swerving back across 2 fucking lanes of traffic on a fucking highway. So they said, they didn't go, I hope that's a famous person so I can make an example of them. Right. Holy shit, that guy's tanked. Let's fucking pull him over before he kills somebody. If you're swerving back and forth, I hate cops pulling people over. If they're swerving back, pull them the fuck over.
Right.
Get them off the road at that point because I don't drive drunk. And
jump on my tail because I'm doing 10 over. Calm down.
You
at least
leave
I'm
me the
not
fuck
drunk.
alone. Yeah, don't follow people about their tail lights. And you got a license plate light. No, not that.
Leave them alone.
This, bad. I'm on their side on this one.
The guy with the tail light out isn't crashing into old ladies.
This this is frightening.
Right.
So that guy could be asleep at the wheel swerving back and forth there. So, he will not be prosecuted, that comes out after further review, because they're trying to make such an example out of him. Mm-hmm. They said that it was measured at .06, and they're not going to bother with the first one. So, hey, it's a freebie.
Yeah.
Freebie for you, Kurt.
We don't have any way of progressing on this case.
Yeah.
We'll lose, so get the fuck out of here.
So, whatever. Yeah, you have famous lawyers where it was a small-town DUI.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deal with this.
You win again, Kurt.
Yeah, you're rich, I guess.
Fucking jerk.
Guess that means you're rich. Sorry. September 9th, 2011 here, the movie Warrior comes out.
Oh, my God.
Oh, baby, Warrior. Quote, the youngest son of an alcoholic boxer returns home where he's trained by his father for competition in a mixed martial arts tournament, a path that puts the fighter on a collision course with his estranged older brother.
You know, because he doesn't do that.
Yeah, but this movie is actually a good movie.
Really?
I've never seen it, but it stars Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte, Kevin Dunn, Brian Callen's in this movie, which is weird. I'm sure someone got diddled there. No one on set. Oh, who's this? There's a woman on here, Jennifer Morrison.
Yeah.
Whoever she is, she wasn't safe. I'm sure Callen was trying to corner her in a closet at one point.
Rubbing her shoulders or something.
Yeah, that dude's a pig, man. So anyway, but that's just an inside thing.
Just a
Everybody,
fact.
yeah, that's between us and you. Little inside comedian baseball.
It's just a fact.
He's a fucking pig. Any females, if you ever see him, if you don't want to fuck him, don't say hi to him.
Don't
he'll try to fuck you.
'Cause he does.
It's gross. So Kurt plays Koba.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Nolte plays a Vietnam veteran and boxer turned steel mill worker whose family was torn apart by his alcoholism.
All right.
That's what I'm talking about. He's got alcoholism.
Yeah.
And he's gonna take his shirt off and put his overalls on and say, I'm not gonna drink anymore. I'm gonna beat people now.
I will not let Budweiser control my life.
I will not. I couldn't decide between Paul Calhoun and Dexter Manley Vince. Because Vince wanting him back right now is tough. I wanted him to be like, look, you just need to stop.
Right.
And then just Vince like, Kurt, I need you. Vince, stop it. Vince, he said he's in another, he's happy, he's in a different stage. He's so vascular, damn it. Kurt, take your shirt off, please. Kurt, just come out here. Vince, I'm sorry. This is sad, Vince. It's getting bad. Kurt, I love you.
He did tell him he loved him.
I love you, Kurt. I meant every word. Oh my God, he is just, he cried the whole way over here, like loud, like sobbing. It was terrible.
So more men he loves him than
Goodness.
than Dexter has.
Yeah. So he says, quote, this is Kurt, my character is the complete opposite of what I portrayed in the 1996 Olympics. Well, it's a movie.
Right.
So, I was the American hero who won the Olympic gold medal. I'm now the Russian hero who won the gold medal. So he's like Ivan Drago.
Okay.
That's who he is.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
Because you're from a different country.
Now I'm Russian. Oh, okay.
It's completely different.
Totally different. Now I'm it's Russian and American. Wow.
Same colors on the flag.
He said, I'm going to continue to wrestle for a little while longer, but my crossover, the appeal is coming, and it appears I'm going to start doing movies for a living, so I'm very excited about my future.
It appears that way?
I mean, this is a big Hollywood movie. I saw it has 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
Wow.
So I'm like, holy shit, is this like, did somebody spike this? So I went to Rotten Tomatoes, 83% from the critics, 92% from the audience.
Wow.
This is a good fucking movie.
How about that?
Period. He just landed in a good movie. He's lucky. 2011, his ex-wife, Karen, marries Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
That's not great. He says at this point, he tells everybody that Dana White wanted him for UFC, and he said no.
Well, yeah.
He said he didn't want to.
Because you'll fucking die in there.
Well, no, when he was done in the Olympics, he would have probably been the fucking champion.
Yeah.
He would have tore people apart. Nobody's a fucking Olympic wrestling champion.
As long as they don't fucking
punch him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
as long
the
as
thing.
they don't keep him up standing. If he goes to the ground with them.
Yeah, he's going to fucking murder you. But that's all the guys. You're either a puncher or a grappler.
Or maybe
you're
he wouldn't
half-assed at both. One of the two.
Maybe he wouldn't have, because that fucking pewter guy almost took his fucking arm off.
Who knows? Well, he wasn't in a match shape. He just got done with a match, and he was hurt at the time too. He wouldn't have been like fighting a UFC fight in that condition. He said that I've had meetings with them all in MMA, World Series, Elite XC, twice with the UFC. Whether it was the money or the timing, it wasn't right. It didn't happen. I considered going until I turned around 42. I wouldn't even think about doing it now.
Well, no.
I would say not. Jesus Christ.
There's nobody that does it.
Well, yeah, I'm
40,
50. I'm going to come out and no. I mean, I get that you're an amazing physical specimen, but come on. He said, I don't regret it. When I met with Dana White, he wanted me to quit wrestling entirely, but I had just signed with TNA. I met with Dana the same week, and he said I needed to quit wrestling. I couldn't tell Dixie Carter I wanted to back out. He said during his second meeting, which took place in 2008, he said he talked about how White wanted him to join the cast of Ultimate Fighter Heavyweights, the one that Kimbo Slice was on there. And, he said all of that. And he said, the second time I met with Dana, I took the physical. He wanted me to do the Ultimate Fighter with Kimbo. He was great. He was willing to pay me a good bit of money to be on the show, but he wanted me to be ready in 4.5 weeks. It just wasn't in the cards. I think it would have been great TV. He was willing to sign me to a 6-fight deal after the show, but he wanted me to be on the show. But it wasn't going to happen in 4.5 weeks. So he then says, quote, I actually contacted Dana White after the movie. I flew out to meet him. He made me a great offer, all this stuff. He talks about, I think it was dropping. I was thinking of dropping out of Impact Wrestling because there were some personal problems with my marriage and I just wanted to get away. So that's what he was talking about. So total opposite of what he said before. He said he wanted me ready in 4.5 weeks. I knew I was capable of winning. I knew if I was capable of winning in 4.5 weeks, but I wanted to be at my best. Dana White said, quote, I love Kurt, but none of that is true.
I gave him no timelines. I've never talked to him.
That never happened. I never offered him a contract. He says, I never offered him a contract.
We just have the same barber. That's all.
I've talked to him and said, wow, you're cool, but I never said, like, here's a contract offer. Like, that didn't happen. So he says, I believe I'd have been as good in MMA as I was in pro wrestling, but I don't regret it. If the money was there in MMA when I came out of the Olympics, I'd have gone into MMA, which I would have thought he would have, but it wasn't there. At that point, there was no money in that. He was offered millions of dollars by WWE.
Right. It took a long time for that kind of money to happen in UFC.
Yeah, he said it wasn't there until I was 4 years or so into my WWE career, which was 2002, 2003. Right. That's when it started blowing up. But I love pro wrestling, so it wasn't meant to be. March 2012, he posts some weird tweets and, doesn't say that this was hacked or anything. He just did this. He says, quote, this is 2012, mind you, quote, I'm training for the Olympics.
What?
Okay.
You are 60.
Every wrestler is terrified of me that they will get tired. And then he tags Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. What do they have to do with the Olympics? But could either of you take me in a shoot? Be honest. Respect you both. No, they couldn't. They're not fucking amateur wrestlers. Right. Neither of them would. You'd kill Shawn Michaels. He would he'd take his legs like a wishbone, for fuck's sake.
And he's 53 at this time?
Shawn Michaels got beat up by guys in bars, regular people all the time. Christ almighty. That was his thing that he did. He was on drugs all the time, too. So, yeah. He said that I became a top star in 1 year, but it took Shawn and Austin 15 years. Hello, I have not touched a pill in 8 years. Okay, right. And he tags Jim Ross and Chris Jericho. How do you feel about that? I am the best today. If WWE never wants me, their mistake. What then?
Like, I'm going to write those same tweets and tag those same people.
Yeah, so weird. 2012, he doesn't show up he's inducted into the Lou Thesz Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame, which is like for amateurs that became good pros. Yeah. It's like a very specific group. And he just doesn't show up for some reason. Doesn't show up, so Jerry Briscoe makes fun of him for it, and they auction off his Hall of Fame plaque and make fun of him, and he's super pissed off about it.
Really?
Super mad Kurt is about. So, dude, relax.
What are you going to do?
Just relax here. He says, quote, Jerry Briscoe made a mockery out of me. This is on Twitter. Jerry Briscoe made a mockery out of me and the Dan Gable Museum Hall of Fame by auctioning off my award. That award is a huge honor. You spit on me. Due to obligations I had with my wedding, I could not attend the Hall of Fame. I even made a 10-minute video proudly accepting this great honor. I'm disappointed I couldn't go, but devastated Jerry gave my award away. Very classy, Jerry. So he's mad. He gets married at that time. He gets married to an actress that he met on the set of The Good Movie.
Got it.
Giovanna Iannati. They got married, and they shot Death from Above together, which we'll talk about. Yeah. They starred in that, and she said, he was so handsome, I was just like, I gotta have him. And there you go. They get married, they end up having 3 kids, they're still together.
Really?
Yeah, so good for them. Salute, fuckers.
Oh, Kurt.
August 6, 2012, Death from Above comes out. This is weird. This is a movie starring like 80s Tom Savini is this sheriff. Tom Savini is the special effects guy, the most famous one in the world that made all the cool 80s shit and all the practical effects. He's acting in this movie, playing a sheriff. Robert Zadar is in this movie. He's in every 80s B movie. He's the guy with the giant face. He's got like the big weird jaw.
Zadar,
Zdar. Look him up. You'll
First
go,
name
oh,
what?
that guy, Robert Zadar. He's got this big weird jaw face. It's some sort of disease.
Is it
crazy?
No.
Sid's also in this too. Sid Vicious and Kurt Angle. 2.9 of 10 on IMDb. ZDAR.
Oh, it's an apostrophe. Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What is happening there?
Exactly. So, August 3rd, 2013.
That's his real fucking face?
Yeah, it's his real face. He's got some sort of like thing going on with him. I don't know what it's called.
Elephantitis of the jaw.
Of the face.
Good Lord.
So, sorry for that guy, but he's made a career out of it, so good for him. August 3rd, 2013, he's in Texas, and Texas Highway Patrol pulls him
Zadar
on.
doesn't care. He's dead.
Zadar's dead now?
Yeah,
that's right. He died a few years ago. I remember
he was only
that.
65, too.
Yeah, he's huge, too.
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
That's probably
very
why.
tall, very stocky. Yeah. He apparently is pulled over in Wise County, Texas, following a taping of TNA Impact for Spike TV. And police received a call about a reckless driver caught up to Kurt on the road here. And apparently the passersby reported that a vehicle was in the median. That's his spot. He's just like, I'll just park over here and let it wear off. It's cool. They put a parking spot in the middle for people who got problems. That's what it is. You have a couple of drinks, you're like, I'll just park in the middle.
It's like the handicapped spot.
So I feel better.
This is the drunk
I'm
parking
just
spot.
running in real quick, so I'll park here.
It's a real long park spot.
Yeah.
Everybody can get in it.
So, they when they came to investigate, they found him passed out behind the wheel, reeking of alcohol. This is when he again said that he hit an icy patch on a dry road. And then he said he was distracted by a text message. It wasn't ice. He was mistaken. That was another time.
Right.
I was half asleep. So they pulled him over, alcohol, whatever. So he's arrested again. This is not good. He immediately tweets that night, in light of recent events, I will be immediately entering a rehabilitation facility. I am confident that taking these steps, I can begin to address the necessary changes in my life. Went right from jail to the rehab. He's fucked. A movie comes out, Beyond the Mat.
He's in that.
No, not the documentary.
Oh.
No. A tale about two best friends, an uncensored look into the perilous world of high school wrestling.
He's trying to play a high school kid now?
No, I hope not. And the story of a teen who overcomes self-doubt to find his true place. It's a $2 million budget. He plays a coach.
Yeah.
Wrestling coach.
Of course he does.
July 30th, 2014, Sharknado 2 comes out.
He's in that.
He is in that. He plays the fire chief in that. So, September 4th, 2014, movie Not Cool comes out.
Yeah.
A group of modern-day Pittsburgh teenagers spend their Thanksgiving break experiencing a mixture of love, friendship, partying, and sex. Yay.
American Pie already came out.
Yeah, and so did Kids.
Right.
Directed by that YouTube dipshit, Shane Dawson.
Fuck.
Yeah, so there you go. Kurt plays a security guard in that one. 2014, rumors about a return to WWE.
What?
He wants to come back. He said that Triple H didn't want him. He said that his real name is Paul Levesque. He said, quote, Paul is in charge, and I found out that when I contacted Vince. I've always had good relationship with Paul, so I didn't consider that a problem. He decided they had enough talent. They had enough talent for then. For Vince McMahon, who I knew, enough was never enough. He always wanted more. I don't know what was going on over there, but they even canceled our meeting. I never even went to see them. They didn't even sit me down and talk to me. He said, I blew my mind as if I was a nobody, that I wasn't Kurt Angle. From a wrestling standpoint, they just weren't interested. He said, but TNA not only stepped up, but they also gave me everything I wanted. The dates, the money. It's no secret that I've gone to rehab in the past, and they gave me the time off. You talk about a company that's loyal to you, and you want to be loyal back, so I didn't pursue the WWE any further. When it comes down to it, you've got to stick with the people who want to take care of you, and Dixie Carter took care of me. So, yeah, and maybe, I mean, they're like almost the same age, so she's not like a mother figure. But he might need one here because 2015, his mom dies of cancer. That's what I mean. It's been bad. That's terrible, obviously. Yeah. Now he's got no parents, which sucks, no matter what age you are. I mean, Christ, I feel bad for the lady.
Right.
I feel bad for him. But not nearly, Jimmy. Not nearly as bad as I feel.
What?
For Kurt Angle, quality engineer at Northrop Grumman in Savannah, Georgia.
Poor bastard.
Kurt Angle, freelance translator at H&R Block in New York City. Kurt Angle, I don't even know what this says. It's in German. It's Arztbei Klinik.
That says
in Germany.
Geography B champ.
That's what it is. In German geography champion. Kurt Angle, administrative assistant at British Pharmacological Society in the UK, obviously. And Kurt Angle attended SVG Degree College in Mumbai, India.
Oh, God.
He's an Indian kid named Kurt Angle. Yeah. It's hilarious. So there's a lot of them.
They're named after him, right?
I don't
They've
fucking
gotta
know.
be.
These were adults, a lot of them.
Yeah.
They were like his age.
Okay.
So I don't think those guys are. Maybe the Indian kid, probably he looked young. Yeah. I don't know. So the rest of them look like, her age, at least in the ballpark. So also in 2015, The Last Witch Hunter comes out.
Eesh.
Ooh, The Last Witch Hunter is all that stands between humanity and the combined forces of the most horrifying witches in history. No! You know who stars in this? Vin Diesel.
Oh, of course he does.
Elijah Wood.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Michael Caine is in this. What the fuck? Okay. No. Kurt Angle's been in the same fucking movie with Michael Caine? That is just wrong. I'm sorry. He's an amazing actor. This is terrible.
A British guy looking for witches.
That goes for Vin Diesel as well. He shouldn't have been in the movie with Michael Caine either. They shouldn't be on the same set.
I feel like Michael Caine was just a guy that stood by going, this is a terrible movie.
I'll lend my name to it. They paid me many dollars. Many pounds.
I just stand on set critiquing people.
Kurt plays bodyguard number 4. So that's about his role in this area. Yeah. 6 out of 10 on IMDb. September 21st, 2015, his brother David has a little bit of an issue. When he calls 911 about 6 a.m. one morning to tell the cops that his wife is not responsive.
Oh, no.
Homicide detectives find out that they were arguing at about 3 a.m. This is David and Donna Angle. Apparently she offered him some vodka. And, quote, this is from the criminal complaint, quote, he told her he didn't want any, but she continued to badger him about drinking with her. He said all of their arguments revolved around alcohol and added that she had anger issues. So he told police that his wife tried to kick him during the argument. So he dragged her off a couch by grabbing both of her arms and then put his foot on her chest while continuing to pull her arms.
Oh,
what's he trying to do? Detach them?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Taking them?
He said he couldn't remember how long he did that, but he told police it was not for minutes. So he doesn't know how long that was, but I guess that was his submission hold. That's his finisher, I guess. I don't know. Not to make light of it, but when his wife went unconscious and he couldn't revive her, he called 911 and was told how to perform CPR. That was about 6:20 in the morning. He said, quote, she was smacking me. I was smacking her. She fell on the floor. I had my knee on her chest. Not long, but long enough, I guess. I tried to revive her, and I can't get her back. This has been 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
And she's dead.
It's over.
She died of asphyxiation.
Wow.
That is not good.
He murdered a woman.
He fucking murdered a woman. They treat this like it was like she fell down the stairs. It's the weirdest thing I've ever. It's the fucking craziest thing I've ever heard. We've had small town murders where like this would be your ass's life.
Forever, yeah.
Kurt now, through his attorney, is very sad. He says, this has been a very trying time for everyone in my family. We ask that you respect our privacy to mourn our loss. I love my family very much and will support them in any way I can. So October 2015, David is ordered to stand trial. Kurt is there with him in the courtroom, wiping tears away and everything else here. They're all there. The homicide detectives say that, he dragged her off the couch and somehow killed her.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter how.
Right.
Fucking she's dead and he's the one who did it. So that's that. 2016 in July, David finally just takes a plea bargain for the whole thing. This is wild here. He admitted to using force that's to stop her from breathing, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be, I believe, let me find the voluntary manslaughter.
Wow.
They lower this to, which is
I thought he was going to plead a reckless driving.
Yeah, right.
Him and his brother get
no shit. They get off.
They are lucky.
They're like, well, your parents are dead. We feel bad. We still feel bad about your dad.
Right.
He says, quote, this is what David's lawyer says. He's in complete disbelief that he doesn't have his wife. They've been married for 27 years. He loves her. He misses her every day, and he's just devastated by what happened. Well, he shouldn't have killed her then. Jesus. He is, he says he did it and all of that. He says, quote, it was really, I'm sorry, this is the defense attorney. It was really a product of alcohol. And there was a domestic fight where she started smacking him and he stopped her from doing that. His knees were on her chest and she basically suffocated. He was intoxicated as well, and it was almost accidental.
Except for the part where
they
wasn't.
Were fighting. Yeah, that's not an excuse. We got drunk and I killed her is not an excuse. Like,
No.
you can't do that. Oh, it's cool. I was drunk, man.
Wow, man.
Be cool about this. I had a few.
That is incredible.
Yeah. His lawyer also said, quote, his 3 children were here. He has a stepson. Ian was here, and his daughter and son, both from the deceased and him. Their children were here, and they're very much supporting their father. This was at the court hearing. He faces a maximum of 10 years in prison, but could serve as little as 2 for killing your wife. I'm
blown away.
That is wild here. Kurt, at this point, goes on the Dan Le Batard show and talks about his excessive drug use. Mm-hmm. He said there was no way I couldn't get out of it. The only thing I could do eventually was go to rehab and try to fix my life again. But I actually beat it on my own. I stayed in my house for about 10 days and didn't leave, and I was able to get through the withdrawal. I finally got the right help. I tried to do it myself, but when you're that deep into the stuff, you can't do it on your own. You need somebody else's help, and I finally reached out and did what I had to do and got to get it done. It was the worst 7 days of my life as well. I went through detox again. That time it stuck. You can't do everything. You can't think. You're in constant pain. Your body's shaking. You don't want to eat. You don't want anything. You feel like you're going to die. It's the worst pain you've ever had in your life, and I went through it twice. So September 2016, David gets sentenced here. He's sentenced, you, sir, may fuck off 2.5 to 10 years for killing his wife.
Wow.
So he's going to do a year and fucking be done with it.
That's incredible.
Wild, right? 2016, he leaves TNA, and Kurt does, not his brother. His brother leaves jail. Kurt leaves TNA. 2017, he's back in WWE again.
Really?
That's it. He's back again. He's going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And John Cena inducts him into the Hall of Fame and all that shit. He makes a WrestleMania appearance, blah, blah, blah. January 17, 2019, his 16-year-old niece is home safe after being kidnapped. This fucking family is doomed, man. I swear to God.
She was kidnapped?
Kidnapped by her ex-boyfriend. Her name is Marjani Aquil. She was found inside a house in McKeesport late Wednesday with bruises on her face, and Jermaine Rogers was captured in the same home following a 2-hour standoff.
Jeez.
He's a 19-year-old. Her ex-boyfriend been charged with kidnapping.
She's 16.
She's 16.
Jesus.
Police said, quote, they broke the window under the porch so they could see into that area, and that's where they saw him hiding in the coal cellar. He was ordered to show his hands and remain there, and then they took him out. So, 2 other people were home were there too when the cops arrived. Know who the fuck they were.
That was a tough neighborhood, I'm sure. In a good neighborhood, they don't have coal cellars; they have wine cellars.
I was going to say, yeah. Back there, everybody has those old coal cellars. I would assume though by now people who have renovated their houses have gotten rid of the coal fucking chute.
Right.
You know, I would think, but maybe not. Maybe it's charming.
Yeah.
That's probably that's like a charming thing. Oh, it's the old coal chute.
It still has one. Look at that.
Oh my, crown molding and coal chutes. Wow.
Tin roof.
Just wanted to say thank you, Kurt says, to all those who've prayed and shared posts to help locate her. March of 2009, his brother Eric is arrested.
2019?
19, sorry. His brother is arrested. This is disturbing.
Oh.
After picking up a child at a wrestling tournament by the throat, lifting him up to his level with both hands, choking a child by the throat, and then throwing him to the fucking mat. There's a video.
Wow.
It is the most fucking disturbing thing you've ever seen in your life.
Why do you do it?
The kid weighs maybe 80 pounds. It's like a 7-year-old, Jimmy. It's not a teenager.
It's a child.
It's a small little child that he picks up. The kid is half his height.
Unbelievable.
And throws him on the ground after. Even in wrestling, that would be like, Jesus Christ. Wow. It was fucking ridiculous, man.
And the kid doesn't work for WWE? Doesn't have
this was at a Pennsylvania Junior Wrestling Championships event. He's a 12-year-old boy. He looks 7, though. He can't weigh more than 100 pounds. I swear to God. And fucking his brother's huge. He's like him. He's a giant guy. Mm-hmm. And it was also a champion college wrestler, I believe, too, at Clarion. So somebody posted the video and said, no one should ever take their kids to Angle Elite Wrestling. And, it's fucking...
Jeez.
Unless you caught that kid raping a baby, it's an extreme response.
Oh.
If you walked in on that, I get it. But other than that, it's a pretty extreme response to anything he would have done. Yeah. Angle, his brother told the TV station afterwards, quote, "I should have just walked away and let him get thrown out. Instead, I'm the one who embarrassed myself even more." Yeah. 2019, Kurt's in another movie, Chasing Molly.
What? I think that's on... Is that on Netflix?
Beats me. Molly, a paranormal con artist who cleans people of their valuables instead of their demons, accidentally rips off a drug kingpin. She now has to save her kidnapped partner and herself while battling through the underbelly of Los Angeles. Jesus Christ. Kurt plays Mr. Black. So, yeah. October 3rd, 2019. Eric's learned his lesson after his public embarrassment, right?
I would hope so.
No, he's arrested again. This time, he is indicted for distributing anabolic steroids on the dark web. On the fucking... He's on the dark web selling steroids, Jimmy.
I don't even know how to get there.
Neither do I. That's what I'm saying. And he's selling steroids there.
He found the dark web and opened up shop.
One of 3 men who sold anabolic steroids and other controlled drugs before shipping them via UPS under fake names. They were members of the Quantum with a 4 where the A should
Got
be.
it.
Drug trafficking organization. Why do all those Nexium, they all do fucked up? Just call yourself something. If I see that, I assume someone's getting fucked or drugged. One of the two.
It's a front for something illegal.
I see
every
a number
time.
of illegal shit. They imported steroids from China, and controlled substances were paid for by using cryptocurrency or cash.
Jesus.
Facing several charges, including conspiracy to distribute controlled substances and conspiracy to import controlled substances, among others. These are bad federal crimes. 2020, Kurt makes an appearance. He introduces Matt Riddle, some wrestler, to SmackDown. This is recently formalizing, I don't know, they say it's they like this guy for some reason here, this publication that's talking about it. They talked about him returning to the ring. He says he doesn't rule out a return to the ring. He says, right now I can't, but could my mind be changed? Yes, for 2 reasons. I'm working on my business, and I've been doing a lot of rehab on my body, trying to get myself back to where I'm able to live a healthy lifestyle. I've been so banged up, my neck, my back, my neck. I'm making improvements.
Sounds like he's making a plea for more
my
perks.
Neck, my back. Yeah.
I need more Percocet in this contract.
No shit, man. He jokingly tweets at some point, oh, no, that's right. He says he's got a food company. He says, we have chicken snacks called Chicken Snacks with CHXNSNX.
God damn it.
And they will be a #1 seller. They will not only be available on Amazon, but will in convenience stores, health food stores, groceries, bulk stores like Costco and Sam's Club. And then he jokingly tweeted that he was putting out his own brand of milk. And he was like, I can't believe people thought I was serious. It's like, you were fucking pushing ostrich meat food stuff a minute ago. What the fuck are you talking about? Of course, you're capable of anything.
You were taking cow tranquilizers.
Yeah. You took beef hormones and sold ostrich meat. You're capable of anything.
We figured it was par for the course.
He said, Steve Austin has his own beer and Rock has his tequila, so I thought it was funny if I'd have my own milk. Everyone thought I was serious, but the payoff is you can buy autographed Angles milk cartons on my website. But the interest is there, so maybe I can do more with it. Can't get enough of Kurt?
He has his tequila and he has his beers. Those generate money, motherfucker.
I'm going to make milk.
Who buys milk?
I just buy whatever milk is milk. I don't look for a brand of it.
When I'm going to bake something. Other than that, I don't
Angle's
buy
milk.
it.
So, can't get enough of Kurt?
Yeah.
You can do a couple of things. You can get up figures and all that. There's a trillion things. You could also visit one of his brothers in jail.
Yeah.
See how they're doing. Or get on Cameo, where Kurt has his own cameo.
Of course he does.
Yes, he does. Let's see here. He is $100.
What?
For the cameo of Kurt. $100. So, or you
cameos have jumped in price. PS.
Yeah.
They have gone way
ridiculous.
up. Because like a year ago, you could get
$20.
Yeah, you could get somebody to say something stupid for $20, $10.
Now it's $150.
Absurd.
Get the fuck out of here for that. So somebody reviewed it, said, thanks for the cameo, Kurt. Son was over the moon and it was a nice surprise. Your words meant a lot to him and it was a nice pick-me-up.
You're welcome, kid.
That's terrific.
Fucking Percocets with it.
Yeah, hey, I don't know, send something. There's a dark web. Check it out. That, everybody, is Kurt Angle. Angle.
Wowza.
That is Crime in Sports.
He's a mess.
He's had problems. He looks like he seems to be doing well now, which is good. He got off the pills and everything, but he went through a real dark, about 10-year period that was just, crashing as hard as it goes. If you like that story, tell us about it. Get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Give us 5 stars. It helps a ton. We don't know why, but it does. So do it, please. Say something. We don't give a shit what you say. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com for your tickets to the live show this week, virtual live show, Thursday, October 29th, and that'll play for another 48 hours. You can buy it as well.
48.
And it is 48. And it is not $48, 48 hours.
48 hours, 2
and
days.
2 days. And you can, it's the all-violent felon edition of the Prisoner Dating Game.
Right.
4 lucky bachelors, 4 lucky bachelorettes. Jimmie won't see him, but you will see him. All Jimmie will get is their dating profile pitch.
Yeah.
And then he's going to find out with the rest of us what they look like, and more importantly, what they've done to belong on this horrible show. Do that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, head over to patreon.com if you want to get Patreon episodes. We have so much Patreon stuff. I'm telling you guys, if you went in right now to the catalog just from this year, you'd be like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
It's deep, and you get the Crime in Sports and Small Town Murder, and they blend and meld. It's not... It's not like they're not the real regular shows, as
they
you know.
They don't separate very easily.
No, and this week for Crime in Sports, the bonus episode is going to be the Plane Ride from Hell, which is a wrestling thing where a bunch of wrestlers coming home from a long European tour were chartered a plane by Vince McMahon and given open and complete bar. And what ended up happening is literally lawsuits and criminal investigations.
What happened is illegal.
Absolute chaos. If you think the boat party thing was crazy, this is just as crazy as the Minnesota boat party. Less sex, but still lots of sex and weird shit. It's weird. So check that out. It's going to be lots of fun. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. Anybody over the $5 level will get that, and they will get Jimmie mispronouncing their name. Speaking of that, if you would like just for Jimmie to mispronounce your name and to get good karma, you can do that as well on PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. That's also a good way to get a hold of the show, that email. Another couple ways you can get a hold of the show. We are at Crime in Sports on Twitter and Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. With that said, Jimmie, I need the names of the people who would never ever fall asleep on a medium shit-faced right now, who are so good to us. I love them so much. Jimmie, hit me with them immediately.
This week's executive producers are Christopher Palcow, Jordan Bennett. Oh, and her and Simon are celebrating their 16th anniversary.
Hey, congrats,
Happy anniversary, fuckers. Nicole Blair, Alexia Gordon. Happy birthday to her also. Susan McQuilkin. Jesus, I'm sorry. Catherine Conqueror, Chris Taylor, Chrissy Ann Castaldi. Again, thanks, Chrissy. We got to get back to Boston, man.
Yeah, God, Boston was great.
Also, Chef Kristen Kulander's birthday is today, or this week.
Happy birthday.
I don't know which day. God damn it. Happy birthday. Larea Rouse, Jesse Plotkin, Gavin Smith-Pill, Don Fritz, Lisa Newberger, Sherry Dickens, Samantha with no last name, Michelle, Babasina, I think, Rachel Funderburk, I think, nope, that's Dean Woder, Cassie McMahon, Jim Boysode, Bomisode. Christ, Jennifer Lucky, thank you guys so much. We can't do this without you. Truly
amazing.
Other producers this week, thank you so much. Carter Harris, Melissa McVicar, Jesus, Sarah Cowdle, Thomas Smith, Nico Robin, Robin James, Leah Colwell, Sally Matani, Tracy Renninger, Gary Howard. Thanks, Gary.
Thanks,
Katarzyna Neil Zolka, Timmy Wright. Nope, that's Knight. God damn it. Zachary Jackson, Dakota Harrington, Kylie Short, Kieran White, Marissa Cole, Tisha Thomas, Haley Pierce Ramsdell, Brendan Abels. Thank you, Brendan.
Hey,
James Martyr, Liz Vasquez. Thanks, Liz. Josh Barta, Jill Haynes, Marissa Cole, Kristen Bellinger, Jessica Matthews, Katrina Jones, Michael Scott. Is that real? That could be real. Jake Nasso, Elizabeth Burko, Brandon Bendy. What is this? Benoit. He's a Native American, and he likes to send me horrible things, horrible words to me because I'm accidental. I don't mean to. Jessica Nika. Haley Vieira, Megan Schroeder, obviously. What was that guy's name? Schroeder. David? No. He was a famous actor, Schroeder.
Ricky.
I had it locked and loaded there for a sec, and then it unloaded. Brooke Kale, Todd Theroff, Kimberly Paxson. What is this? Diary? That's not right. That says Mary. Veta with no last name. Jeb Edmondson, Amanda Knight, Whitley Crum, Devin Cleveland, Canner 152, Josh Garcia, Heather Musser, Todd Vanderhoff, Hoof. Oh, fuck. Joanne Ahern, thank you so much. She said happy birthday to me because I posted that my birthday is on a Monday.
You
Monday.
fucked that all up.
The ever important A.
Yeah.
Never talk about my birthday.
Nope.
Thank you so much for anybody that sent money thinking that it was my birthday.
It's not Jimmy's birthday.
I did not do that to bilk money out.
No, it's February.
Thank you. February. Don't send anything in February. You've done enough. Vinny Caputo, M. Sims, Tim Johnson, Rob Smith, Tracy Jacobs, Janice Hill.
I have an uncle named Vinny Caputo.
Do you?
Yeah.
It might be him.
Cousin Jesse's stepfather.
I'll bet it's him.
Might be.
Jesse probably used his credit card.
Maybe.
Rob Smith, Tracy Jacobs, Janice Hill, Jonathan Hoskins, Mason O'Hearn, Tim Johnson. What did I do here? Leah Medlock, Gordy Bunk, M. Sims. I said that. Wes Rich, Chloe Campbell, Adam Bennett, Tay Howe. Molly? Is that Molly? March? It's just M-O-L-L-E? Is that a Molly? Is that?
Mole.
It's Mole, right?
Mole.
March.
Mole.
Miranda Kincaid, Susanna Platt, Kyle Juarez, Samantha. Nope, that's Sarah Lockhart. I am fucking dumb.
You're on a roll, Jimmy.
Todd Tunks, Gunnar Gray, Jesse Salisbury, Baga Kiwanuka, Beja. Fuck. Robert Wire, Reagan, Dayherm Blay. Nope, Dayherm DeBlay.
Wow. No. I think he's a guy that Kurt Angle wrestled in the we talked about on Crime and Sports.
Brian the Wizard, Franklin Berry, Cal Seeley, Matt Morgan, Renee Peterson, happy birthday. Winston Howard, Brian Shodorf. Sorry, Brian. Mark Kaiser, Bethany Plack. No, Black. What did I do? I don't know.
What's one syllable?
It could be Plack or Black. Depends on how shitty my writing is.
Short name.
Cassandra Newsom, Rachel Reed, Trisha Ryan Spear, Stephanie Tilford, Tyler Criswell, Mallory Ian Coney, Brian Niehaus. Archibald Meat Pants, probably not. Stephanie Andrews, Jesse Thomas, Tracy Munix, Christy McFarland, Sue Green, I think it's Sue's, Liz Gray, Sean Platter, Dwayne Matson, Susan Wooten, Jamie Fee, Mary Brutus, Jason Ho or Huff, Justin Greenberg, John Robinson, Alex Knoll, Tim Wolotkin. Jay with no last name, Alyssa Marie, Mitchell Smith, Alex Casey, Tori Kiekenhafer. Nope, Kikehafer. Whoa. Fuck. Hannah Artrip, Brittany Galens. I don't want to keep going because I could say horrible. I don't want to say.
Up and people are going to think that's my fault, but I'm just reading.
I don't want to say worse words. No. Jonathan Crow, Ekaterina. What? Jackie Mater, a monkey chef. What? Katie Watkins, Dennis Kuspert. Asia Monroe, Alexis Roy Lance. Christopher Lewis, Courtney McCarthy, Riley Kyle Dinan, Katie Hale or Holly, I don't know, Melissa Miller, Emma Mars, Kelsey Martin, Chris Leonard, and Carlton Merritt. D Gemma 1000, Gemma, what? Jim Monroe, Sam Powell, Stacy Loper, Corey Akacha, what? Achtabowski? That's not right. Jennifer Dalton, Haley Stefkovich, Phil Beebs Heimer, Kevin Rohn, Kimberly Wade, Olivia Hours, Kenzie with no last name, Andy Young, Rice Kamen, Aaron Tienis Free, Tom George, Carl Stump, Charles, not Carl, what? Amanda with no last name, April Williams, Laura Nichols, Maggie Fitch, Kelsey with no last name, Bagakuanuka. I think I said that once before. They donated both ways. That's what happened. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sean with no last name, Melanie Hood, Michelle with no last name, Mailey or Mail, Rivka Arbetter, Rivka. It's fucking not American, right? Is that English? I don't know what that is.
Well, who knows?
Kim Lincoln, Sandy Stoika, Hope.
Okay, we like all of you.
Alla Grimson, Travis Eckerd, Sean with no last name, Stefan Tott, Steven. Captain Surly, Olivia, Cianciulli? That's Italian.
Hey.
I don't know. Myra Ezreal.
How you doing?
Myra. Tiffany Knoll, Luke with no last name, Anna Marie, like the fucking song. Morgan Pendleton, Samantha Myers, Jack with no last name, Nancy Drew, probably not the author.
Well, maybe.
Chris with no last name, Grant Springer, Trisha Mobley, Cody Adams, Kyle Rausch, Jessica Giroux, Tim Umstead, David Lemieux Jr., probably
Mario's kid,
brother,
I'm sure.
right.
Probably
It's his brother.
Or Cliff.
Right. Sandy Zavala.
His non-brother's kid.
David Seavey? I don't know what I did. Sean Joles, Michelle Pendino, Josh W., Nick Armenta, Allie Thomas, Pastor Zal. It's an AXL. I'm never going to. XAL, not what? Joshua Doherty, Misty Kavasnik, what? G. Measy, Melissa McVeeker. I said that already. That means she donated both ways. Thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Colby DuPont, probably that dude's kid. Eric Stump, Timothy Driscoll, Colin Ackley Buffington, Chad Kobnick, that's a K. Lance Vachoke.
Something.
Trish with no last name. Tanya Hall, J.D. Johns, Shane with no last name. Samuel Garcia, Jeffrey Jefferson, Steel Flex, Tyler R., Matt with no last name. Steven Sigler, Gavin Gavinello. What? Guaniello? I don't know. It's Italian. Adrian Coronado, Sarah Barber, Zachary Mills, Jana Wells, Sean Miller, Wade with no last name, Larry Larkin, Chris Feichner, Jordan Fisher, Matt Chesser, DeAndre Floyd, Karen Crank, Letitia Bradford Muhammad, Kieran Burton, Nicholas Chiapari, Andy Dressel, Laura Vander Warka, Robin Middlebrook, Michael Bolanger, Cassidy Moore. It's her birthday. I don't know.
Well, happy birthday.
I'm never going to pronounce that. Brianna Hall, Angela Rockefeller, Hannah Simmons, Lee Goffett, Jonathan Gorski. Why is it always Gorski? Why is it Italians? Brandy with no last name. I love the food. Kevin Mathers, obviously Eminem's brother. Beverly Krennick, Hannah Simmons, Esther Hedberg, Dallas Allman.
Mitch's kid.
Right. And Dallas Allman, one of the brothers.
One of the brothers' kids. Yeah, wow, it's royal. Sons and daughters of royalty today, everyone.
Nick Yates, Shepard Pinhorn, Tyler Gunther, Kelly Dempsey, Patrick's kid, Samantha Wright, Jamie Infantes Ward, Heinz's daughter, Garrett Johnson, Mike Shanahan, obviously.
Montgomery's daughter, it was. Okay. Ward.
James Melzer, Candina Huff, Jamie Hicks, Katrina Svensson, Jamie Lichtenbarger. You know that famous...
Yeah, Bobby Lichtenbarger's kid. Yeah, we know that one.
David Barhart, Eric Gordon, Kelly Mitchell, Jeff Basima. I don't know if that's a J. Linda Baker, Leilani G, Michael Halzima, Tisha Jackson of the Jackson 7, Timothy...
She was 6.
Tiffany Square.
Missed the cut.
Of the Dancing Fortune. Yeah. Courtney Spring, Ava M, Gavin Nelson, Jordan Schrock, Brittany Helm, Mindy Welch of the Grape Juice.
Clearly.
Brittany Smith, Christy Oliver, Joel Bateman.
Jason's brother. That is, I believe.
Angela Kornman, Natalie Etzel, Ann Kloss, Santa's daughter.
I was going to say, clearly.
Maria Anwar, Christine Dowling, Andre Sandoval, Dale Kress, water.
Pablo's girlfriend there was Pablo's daughter.
Lauren Reuter of the News Fortune.
Oh, clearly.
Sherry Penrod, Simon Freeburn, Maggie Pappas, Jeanette Guthier, and Jonathan Trose-Claire of the
Kennebunkport Trose-Claires.
And all of our patron donors, you guys fucking make my day. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, everybody, so much, honestly, for every damn thing that you do for us. We really, really do appreciate it. You guys are the lifeblood of this show, honestly. If you guys weren't so enthusiastic, it wouldn't even be happening. We just love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging with us for this long.
We're going on this fire.
We're going on almost 5 years for this damn show, so thank you for doing that. Jimmie, what if they wanted to thank you or yell at you or get a hold of you?
You can find me at Olin Mills.
Send you steroids from the dark web. I don't know.
Forward it all to Olin Mills.
Oh, perfect.
Where can they find you?
Yeah, you know I'm on. Just copy and paste my last name. It doesn't matter. You'll find it. You'll fucking find
me at
it.
Olin Mills and James at Glamour
Well,
Shots.
I trained. That's why. I did all my training. You know how that goes.
Yeah,
so,
Barbizon and Clarion.
Went up there. Went to Clarion. I went to Barbizon. Now I'm at Glamour Shots. Ready to take your green eyeshadow fucking pictures. Enjoy. With that said, everybody, thank you guys so much for joining us once again. And we'll keep coming back each and every goddamn week. And until next week, everybody, that is not the right way to end the show. Because I thought we were doing Small Town Murder because we were talking about it.
Crime and Sports Studios.
Live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.